Did we not receive Edge for saving that place?
You know what? I'll give you all one free point edge. Sure. Go ahead.
Hey, Edge.
Welcome to Pondo's birthday, which is the name of the episode. This is season 3, episode 20. Pondo has showed up in his American flag cowboy hat, but more importantly, he accepted the gift that I was worried all day because it delivered itself at 12:01 a.m. this morning, but he didn't accept it until like 8:15 in the evening. I was worried that he was going to reject the gift from me. And it wasn't even that painful. I wanted to get him a buffet of EVs, okay? A selection, a cornucopia of EV paraphernalia. But I went with something that would be a little less painful for him. I know 100% Cotton would have backed me on this, though. Like, she would have smuggled it into the house once I delivered it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's something that she would. I mean, she would do it stealthily, as in she would have it laid up on her side. Just out in the open staring at me, and I'd be like, okay, well, she got EV stuff. That's fine.
So look, normally we'd start tonight on time, but we didn't. But that's fine, because you know what? We're going to take it slow tonight, and more importantly, we're going to congratulate Catalyst Game Labs for their huge fucking success on the Kickstarter for Battletech Clan Invasion, the relaunch of the Battletech line. Holy shit, they fully funded in 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Somebody bought into the $5,000 line already. People are spending $300-$400 on shit. I put 50 in. They have hundreds of people who took the option to get a canon character. I'm thinking of grabbing the canon character just to make Kenneth Cross canon. I would love it. I would love it.
Yeah, they had a $30,000 goal. They reached 500,000 in half a day.
Yeah. They're way past the bar. So you know what? If you're looking for very reasonably priced miniatures, I mean, we're talking like $5 or $6 per miniature. A very good-looking redesigned clan mechs and inner sphere mechs. You should consider backing the Clan Invasion Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
Honestly, with how far they are past their goal, they're like 100 times past their goal. They're probably gonna have trouble fulfilling the Kickstarter to start with. Like, there's some guy out there that was like, "Oh, well, I understand you wanted to order 100 of these dire wolves, and the order number right here says 2,000. So we're gonna be backed up until March 2021."
Yeah, their goal was 30,000. They're currently sitting at 652,000.
Okay, so that's like
30 days to go.
Yeah. So consider backing in. They'll fulfill it eventually. Catalyst is pretty good about that stuff. If not, we can just bother them about it. There are rumors going around about some more stuff. I mean, Catalyst is finally putting out products. Blaine Lee Pardoe, one of Battletech's premier authors, is retiring from his day job to become a full-time Battletech author now. And he already was like their #1. So they're not fucking around. Catalyst is doing a relaunch. Will there be a new RPG coming out? Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't know. I would invite a more easy to use RPG. One that is coherentist. I want to thank several people, by the way. First off, there are at least 2 different groups that since the last episode have said, hey, I've watched the first or second episode. My group is also doing we're going to do the RPG and the war game combined. Your show is a big inspiration. We're going to do it just like you guys. So congratulations to those groups.
Right on.
There's a guy who's spending his time rewatching every episode, creating a kill board of the number of kills for each character. And that guy is
That's okay.
He's on episode 11 of season 1. Thank you so much to that guy. Yeah, your work is going to take a really... We have like 60 episodes now, so he's like 1/6 of the way through. It's going to be a long and painful
That's okay.
process.
The number of kills I have, I think you can put on one hand. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me look at the kill board for episode 11,
because that statistic is going to come up all Pondo all day.
Not after second season. I didn't really kill much.
Halfway through season 1, it's Death Wish, which is Murder 6's old call sign, is 1 vehicle kill. Heavy 7 is 3 mechs, 1 vehicle. Bandito is 5 mechs, 2 vehicles, and Gold Stag is 1 mech kill. 1 attempted homicide of a man with a machine gun or a shotgun with a.
That's okay. Black Rabbit has been around for like 1 season, and
Yeah.
she already has more kills than Harridan has ever gotten.
That's
So-
fine.
No,
Yeah,
you caught up again because
Oh,
you've been
did I?
taking my last hits.
Are we tied?
No,
I'm
I
gonna
think
need
you're
the,
above me right now.
I'm gonna need the actual kill
That
count
only lasts for like
people.
more combat, though.
I want to know who killed the most people because I'm pretty sure
That would
going
be-
with
that's-
that one.
Definitely.
You would hands down have the most.
Both
pilot-
in and out of mech.
Riff Maxwell, thanks for the sub, by the way. So, I just want to go through my week very quickly. It's hot as fuck everywhere. At the gym, my personal trainer was like, all right, well, your knee seems to be doing better. Let's turn up the volume on your workouts. So today, I didn't wake up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Apparently, I'd slept for like 15 hours. I briefly woke up in the morning and went to the bathroom and set the New Game Plus stuff and had some conversations with people. When I woke up at 3 p.m., I didn't remember waking up at 7 o'clock. So any conversations I had this morning, I was basically dead. My whole body was in incredible pain. My trainer was just like, oh, it's fine that you didn't come in today. I didn't think you would. And I was like, oh, you didn't think I would you? Okay. I will remember this.
So you didn't remember just giving us a clan dropship then?
I didn't give you that. You know what? SidAlpha, you mother... I got a new computer. It's arrived. It's upstairs. I got this memory sticks to stick in the memory stick slots so I can bump it up to 40 gigs of memory or some shit like that. I gotta pull the internal drive out of this one. I was gonna do it today, but I stopped myself. Because, I do not want to set up a computer right before a show. It would be a huge mistake.
A lot of discipline right there.
So by tomorrow, I'm spending a 5-hour car trip to go drive out to a place called Good Feet in order to get new shoe whatevers and have them adjust my knee and basically keep it so that I can keep doing workouts that will nearly kill me the next day. And then when I come back home, I'm gonna shut this computer down for the final time, pull the internal drive out that's in the secondary slot, and then install the new computer and hope that I've correctly moved all of my files onto a USB drive. I got like 3 USB drives here that are all backups of everything. I don't want anything bad to happen with this new computer. I want to make sure that I plug everything in, I install OBS, and it pulls all of my scenes and my files, and I don't have to set it all up again, and everything will work. That's my hope. That's all I want. The final thing I want to say is, this show is a show about Disney. This show is a show about Marvel, and yet we didn't have a Far From Home discussion.
It's true.
Who here has seen
true.
Spider-Man Far From Home?
I just saw it.
Like Hal just saw it, like
Today.
yesterday? Today. Wow.
Yeah.
No, none of the... Okay, we're not going to have a... It's the best Spider-Man movie so far. As
Really
you know,
good.
there's only been 3 Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, then the Spider-Man with the new guy, Tom Holland, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Those are the only 3 Spider-Man movies in existence. Although now we've got that, Spider-Man
agree
Into
with
the
this.
Spider-Verse, which isn't a Spider-Man movie so far as it's kind of like a Spider-People movie.
It's a Spider-Man movie.
It's a Spider-Man movie.
I don't count it as a Spider-Man
Just
live
because
action.
it is a
It's not a
live
Spider-Man
action.
live action. It's
No,
good.
it's
it's
not.
really good, but
It's a fantastic movie, though.
It's not as good as Spider-Man or Spider-Man Far From Home.
That is, no.
I'd put it right there.
I mean, I haven't seen either of them, but
I feel like Far From Home has the best Marvel villain possibly. I think there's a very strong case to be made. Really?
There's a good case. He's a top 5 for sure. He bumps
I think he's a
some
top
people out
3
of
easily.
themselves. Maybe.
I mean, 100% tops.
I put him on par with Vulture, probably. Put him on par. But that
No, I think he's better than Vulture.
I had a strong identification with Vulture as well, though. So I'll
You
admit
also have been screwed over by Tony Stark?
some personal biases. No, just as a dad, just the dad angle.
You also spend your time going through alien garbage and turning it into a wingsuit?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Correct. I do, in fact, have a wingsuit. Now, your knowledge of that has threatened my family, and I must use it to fly
I was gonna
over to
say
your
this
house
is
and
one of
kill
those
you.
moments where you'd be like, "I'm just kidding," unless.
Unless I'm not. I have a sweet flight jacket and some cool wings. No, yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was a fantastic movie. It's absolutely the perfect epilogue for the very heavy end game to follow up with kind of a.
I wouldn't say it's the perfect epilogue because did you watch both post end credit scenes?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're great.
What?
They're fantastic post-credit scenes. I like this.
I don't.
It's a real callback because.
No, okay, first, I don't disagree that they're fantastic, but you don't put all that shit in the post-credit scene.
They used to all the time. Okay, it's only a recent thing in recent Marvel movies that they've used those as like joke scenes. Early Marvel movies, they were all big like storyline altering scenes that used to happen after the credits. Like, oh, this character's showing up before they've even had a movie. Like,
Have you heard of the Avengers Initiative?
Yeah,
come on now. You can't compare that to space.
Big shit used to happen in.
I mean, they had the group sitting around eating shawarma
in Avengers. That was that. For me, that will always be the best post-credit scene. I will tell you why. Go back and rewatch it. Captain America is losing his fucking mind during the scene. They decided to do it in one shot and not retake it, and he could not keep it together. He had to face away from the camera, and he can't stop laughing. That will always be the best post-credit scene. It's just all of them chewing noisily on chicken and beef.
I'd say plus the fact that we didn't get one in Endgame means we were due for like a big one. So they really, I thought the first after credit scene.
Yeah, the first after credit scene kind of tied things together.
I thought that was a way bigger deal than the second one.
No, the second one was huge.
Nah, I don't think
so. The second one was bigly.
Nah. It was a huge deal that they almost like used as a throwaway joke, I felt like. So I thought
the first post-credit scene is foreshadowing Sword, which was always the dumbest shit in the world.
Do you have them in the right order in your head?
I think so.
I don't know that you do.
Let me Google that for you real quick.
Okay.
The space one is the one with Sword.
That's the second one.
I'm pretty sure it's the first one. Alexa, stop!
I saw it today.
God.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. All right. Well,
okay. Now you have me doubting
that's true.
Anymore. I'm gonna Google it.
I'm pretty sure the J. Jonah Jameson one is the second one.
Yeah, you got me doubting myself now.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, that's the bigger one for sure, like 100%.
This man is a master of psyops, and now I got him doubting himself. I feel a little bit better now.
That's good. You did a good thing today.
You think that's a good thing? That's a total waste of everybody's time. I'm 100% certain, though. 100%.
Well, it's totally worth your money, and you should definitely go see it if you haven't
agree.
seen the movie yet. 100%.
You know, I want to talk about what else was totally worth my money. The power of the Inquisition right here.
Excellent.
I love how Pondo got this like little necklace that has the Inquisition thing on it, and so I was like, I gotta one up that because I'm the Inquisitor. I gotta get something I could stick on a hat.
No, I was right. Where's My Shoes is the last credit scene.
All right.
Boom.
Sword is dumb though, man. Sword is dumb.
Yeah, but it's a logical.
All right, I guess
it's a logical leap, though.
Actually, I don't guess. I don't agree, but sure.
That's fine. I was never into that either. But with how much they've said they're going to go space with the next phase, it makes sense.
Meh.
How else do you get Earth involved in space without Sword? So
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hey
man, Thor 4 confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some of the most exciting pop culture news I heard was
Guardians 3, Thor 4. That's some big news.
Brought back Taika Waititi, which was difficult to get because these big budget movies, they're not his jam really, and he typically only does like passion projects, but and they had a hard time getting him for Ragnarok, but he liked it so much and he liked working with Hemsworth so much that
isn't he Korg?
Yeah. both of them liked working together so much that Hemsworth was like, yeah, after I wasn't going to do another one, but after doing Ragnarok, I had so much fun, I'll do another one. And Taika was like, yes, I'll do another one, but I have to be able to write and direct. So they're both him and James Gunn are like, they're their two go-to guys that have like guaranteed success and that they will give a lot more creative freedom to.
Well, Tim Gunn wasn't until they finally were like, oh, actually, maybe we should bring Tim Gunn back.
Imagine being in a position where you can say,
James
yeah,
Gunn.
I wasn't going to do this thing that would get me millions of dollars, but I had a lot of fun on this other one. So yeah, I'll do this thing that'll pay me
why not?
dollars.
Yeah, of course. That's called the Lin-Manuel Miranda effect. That's
Real tough choices in your life that you have to make.
when you're just like, yeah, I could make $200 million a week doing Hamilton on Broadway, or I could do Moana.
Yeah.
So he did Moana. You know, speaking of people who like Moana, let's cut to Pondo.
Yeah, I like Moana. Yeah, I am Pondo.
Wow, that was incredibly lackluster, but I will let it slide.
I actually did recently see Princess and the Frog finally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. I kind of do miss that classic.
Do you have friends on the other side?
It was a good song.
I mean, that guy is the literal definition of a warlock.
I mean, I just like the
So
actor
good.
who played the guy as well.
Yeah. You know, Admiral Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
He's also the guy from The Cape.
That movie did make me wish that that they did go back maybe once or on occasion to that 2D style. There's a certain charm to it that the 3D doesn't have.
Yeah, I can
I
absolutely agree with that. That's
Okay.
why I'm not a huge fan of all the live action remake stuff they're cranking out now.
I mean, they're just... Look, here's the thing. I can deal with it being live action. I can deal with it changing the plot, but removing the key songs kills it for me.
Mhm.
I know that's like the weirdest thing to say, but for me, those Disney movies are the songs.
Oh yeah.
Disney villains are judged by their level of songing. That's why Mulan's villain is not Shang Yu. He doesn't have a song. He's got like 9 speaking words. His longest line is when someone's like, all of China knows you're here, and he's like, good. That is the longest period of time he speaks in the whole movie.
No, he did have one part where he said like 2 sentences back to back.
I don't believe you. Shang Yu is not the villain of that movie.
Do you hear they might do a live action Treasure Planet?
I heard that they were definitely not doing that. I heard that was a fake rumor.
What?
It would be pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's just
Especially
like
for that guy that throws dynamite everywhere.
Ryan Johnson wasn't doing another Star Wars movie.
Look, Sid, you need to
Choices
calm your shit.
over that.
You need to calm your shit down. My YouTube recommendeds had a 6.4 million view why Star Wars Episode 8 was the worst Star Wars today, and I immediately thought, this is because I watch SidAlpha videos. That's why this is in my fucking recommended. I don't need another fucking nerd explaining to me why they hate Star Wars. I will explain to them why I hate Star Wars. I don't need them to tell me.
Well, amen to the first part of your statement for sure. Why are we still trying to find reasons to call something bad? Can we just move on with our lives?
Yeah, exactly. We need to
No.
just respect that Rogue One was really good. And if we
Yeah.
can get more
Rogue
Rogue
One
Ones...
Rogue One only seemed really good because the other movies were so
No,
completely
Rogue One
terrible.
independently is quite good.
Rogue One was mediocre.
No, it was not. Let me tell you something. You could have 99% of that movie be mediocre. You have 2 moments you need to fucking nail with Rogue One. When they are like, okay, we're going to crash a Hammerhead ship into another ship and slam dunk it into a planet. Okay? Nailed it. Number 2 is Darth Vader showing up in the fucking fog like, and then there's the missile goes red and everyone's like, oh shit, run! And he starts slamming dudes off of walls. Okay, let me tell you something, Sid. You nail those 2 scenes, you could put Barney the dinosaur on screen for 2 hours and I wouldn't give a shit. It would still be one of the best Star Wars movies in history.
And
Fucking
that's why you're
Barney.
thinking
Sid.
Barney!
Barney.
And that is why your opinion is immediately invalid.
What? No, my opinion is perfectly valid. Pondo, let's do. I'm gonna snap this thing in my hand. Let's do your intro. I'm not having another conversation about Star Wars. You can wait until another movie comes out.
I've got nothing after this. This is kind of
Happy birthday, Pondo. Happy birthday to the ground.
my entertainment.
Fantastic.
Look at Barney.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why we're here? Cotton, why are we here? And what happened to you this week?
I am Cotton. I don't know why we're here to have a show. I didn't do anything this week. My life was boring.
Say, please don't tell me you watch Star Wars.
No, I haven't watched Star Wars.
I haven't put her through that trauma yet.
Cotton won't believe me. She'll watch Rogue One and think it was actually one of the best Star Wars movies. She'll put it up there with Empire, 100%.
No, she has to see the first three.
Wow, Rad, you're gonna disagree with me on that?
Only because Empire's on an
Yeah, I agree that Empire's number one. I feel like Rogue One is up there in like the number 2 or 3 spot.
it's on an unreachable pedestal for me.
I don't know that it's on an unreachable pedestal.
Maybe not for you.
I mean, we literally have Han Solo going, I know.
I know.
Like the douchiest motherfucker in the world.
Listen, we've talked about this. I watch movies with my heart.
I
Not
agree.
my head.
And that's why I think Rogue One is great.
So it's all about how a movie makes me feel. It's not really what I think. So
No, we're drawn back into Star Wars. I just realized it. Cotton, you have anything else going on this week?
Really, it's really, really, really hot.
Yeah, it's insanely fucking hot. It was 98 degrees today during a thunderstorm, and with the humidity, it ended up being 107. You be quiet, Texas.
It's
Okay?
so hot.
Your
that my-
body adjusts to that level. I want you.
sounds like you had a Tuesday. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay. Your body will adjust to the ambient temperature of a location that you live in.
True.
Normally at this time in the summer, it's like 80 degrees here. We're seeing like a 18 to 20 point bump. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Cotton,
Huh?
beyond it being super hot, doing anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Are you doing
It's too
some
hot
kind
to
of
do anything.
Are you doing some kind of cool camera trick where you're actually like bolted to the wall because the gravity looks like it's pulling your hair one direction?
It's a fan.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
Like
Because it's so hot that our AC can't keep up, and it's like 80-some degrees in our house.
I have a story about that.
Oof.
My turn. I'll tell my AC.
It is your turn.
Let me tell you a story about Rogue One.
You're super quiet right now. Incredibly
Am I?
quiet. Oh yeah.
My kids were messing with my microphones.
You aren't even breaking into the yellow zone on OBS.
And make sure I'm gonna turn the right knob here. How about now?
No.
How about now?
No.
Oh, I don't know what's happening then.
All right.
I don't change any.
Now
controls.
you're almost there.
See that it looks really low right here.
I think you need to speak directly towards it for right now.
Let me tell you a story.
That's so much better.
Yeah, my AC was having a hard time keeping up too. So I was like, all right, I guess I have to go up in my attic. So I had to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning so I could go up in my attic before it was 200 degrees up there. And I climbed up in my attic, and one of my conduits had fallen off of my AC, and I immediately knew something was wrong because as soon as I stepped into my attic and climbed up my ladder, I was like, holy shit, it's like 75 degrees up here. I'm air conditioning my fucking attic. So I had to climb up in there and do a bunch of duct work to put it all back together, which sucked real bad. But now my house is doing great. So you should climb up in your attic and make sure everything fucking looks correct, or under your floors, or wherever your AC duct work is, and make sure everything is still properly attached. Make sure the condenser outside is clean. I found that you can, I already knew this, but you can go to Home Depot and you can get condenser cleaner and evaporator coil cleaner. It's like $5 for a can, and it can make a huge difference if you go out there, if your condenser coil is fucking old or anything like that. So
My dad's an HVAC tech.
oh,
He
then
came and checked it out last
you
time.
should have
It
told me to
was
shut up
hot.
like 5 minutes ago.
Oh no, it's okay. Last time it was hot, he was just saying that it's just having a hard time keeping up with
Yeah.
it, but it's working fine.
Yeah, How hot does it normally get where you're at? Do you guys usually have real hot summers?
We do, but it's usually not as long as it is here. We usually get like, so this, our weather just does this usually, and it's kind of just hot.
I got you.
It's also the plains, and it's like always windy, so it's like a blast furnace.
I see. I'm always very interested in how other people deal with weather, because I feel like I live a place that has relatively extreme weather.
Yeah, you do.
See,
So I'm always like, are your ACs as big as our ACs? Like, is your airflow balance different in your house? Like, I wonder all of these things, because all of our houses here can keep up with 110 degree weather for like 3 months at a time.
Yeah, no, I mean, the interior of my house is quite cool, especially when I'm in the basement where there's no direct sunlight. The problem is walking outside or going literally anywhere, it's 98 degrees.
Yeah. Our the underneath their house is not well insulated.
Yeah, that can be a big difference maker.
But in the Midwest, our temperatures are like 70 to over 100 in the summers, and you can get up to negative 26 degrees in the winter, like Sid experienced. He really liked the weather here.
That's crazy.
I mean, when it wasn't just blistery windy as hell, it actually just felt like home.
All right, I have a question for you, Rad.
Where'd he go?
Okay, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
1 or 2 times, yes, actually.
Okay, all right.
I tell it every night to my children before bed.
I feel like you definitely do not. That is not it's not a story you should be telling your children.
They need to know. They need to understand the moral conundrum of...
I have the novel Darth Plagueis.
They need to understand that in the search for power, you should never trust anyone, or you'll be overthrown in the process.
Yes, correct. Trust is a fool's enterprise.
Wow.
A lesson my children have learned well. It helps when you randomly slap them for no reason. They're like, you trusted.
Say that.
You trusted not to be slapped just now.
Don't even lie about that, Rad. It's not as funny as it should be.
Yeah, it's mostly the other way around. They randomly slap me, and I'm never sure why.
Well, that's because kids are terrifying.
They are. What else? My kid's going to bird camp, so that's been pretty cool this week. He's wings.
Right, I want to be clear. Is that a camp where you go and you dress and act like a bird, or is it where you observe birds?
No, the first one.
Okay.
It's like a furry camp, except for specifically for birds. Yeah, everyone dresses. No, you go and look for birds. What kind of question is that? Of course they don't dress up like birds.
Hey man, Cats the musical, the movie is now a thing or something, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. That was fucking horrifying.
But yeah, he's
someone
adorable.
said Cats is ballet for furries, and now it's completely changed the way I look at Cats the musical.
See, and Cats the play, they dressed up like that because that's what they had to do to look like cats. So I figured they would like animate them like the Lion King or something, but that's not what happened.
They just went a whole different direction with that stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, my kid went down and went to this place we have called Moody Gardens, where they have a big like enclosed glass pyramid with like a rainforest inside of it. So we went and checked out a bunch of like rainforest stuff, and then they went on the ferry and he saw like dolphins run around in the Gulf. So he had a blast today. Tomorrow is his last day of bird camp, and then next week my daughter goes back to zoo camp for her second week of zoo camp. She had a week earlier in the summer that she did zoo camp. Yes, you dress up as a zoo. And populate yourself with small animals. So yeah, got that going on. What else? Saw Spider-Man. It's awesome. It's great. Go see it. I finished season 3 of Stranger Things. Also awesome and great. Watch it.
I haven't even started it, but when will we play D&D?
It's a real bounce back from the second season, which I'll just say I really liked the second season. A lot of people didn't.
I like the second season, but all the part in the different city with people I don't give a shit
everybody
about.
says with the exception of that one episode, right, where she goes on her little side adventure. But it's very much back to form. Does
anyone ever try to figure out what happened to Barb?
No, fuck her. She's done.
I love that Barb has basically just disappeared. during the
Yeah.
middle of a murder investigation, and like the sheriff is just like, I'm gonna go into the woods and leave pancakes, I guess.
Seems good.
Finding where Barb went
Quality
off
police
here.
work.
No one gives a shit. Barb's parents forgot she existed.
Yeah, season 3 is fantastic. I highly recommend you watch it. If you're at all into Stranger Things, find time for it. It's only like 8 episodes, so it's a pretty quick binge if that's how you consume media. Me and my wife finished it in about 3 nights. What else? I have Battle Assembly this weekend, so I'm not thrilled about that. I continue to languish in unit transfer hell, as I get an email from the Army about once every month saying I need to sign one more piece of paper. So it takes a month to sign a single piece of paper when they could literally just email me or call me, and I would go down there same day and sign that piece of paper and hand it to them. The other people who did this exact same transfer had it done inside of like 7 days. So here I am 3 months into this attempted transfer. So that's been a real thorn in my side because they're waiting on a lot of things for me. They have a lot of things lined up for me to do over there. I just need to hurry up and get over there. It's delaying my promotion significantly, which is another real headache for me. What else?
Are you getting promoted to gunnery sergeant?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sergeant Major of the United States Army is my next promotion. Helping my brother get his house ready to be rented out. He just had an offer accepted on a new house, so he's excited. He's getting ready to move, and he's going to put his current house up for rent. So I've been helping him with that all week. That's been less than fun, but productive.
Did you say Sergeant Major of the Army?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that ain't no shit, dog.
Yeah, you thought I was making that up?
What the fuck?
Oh yeah, that's a serious thing.
Yeah. I was like, gunnery sergeant. You're like Sergeant Major of the Army. I was like, wait a second. Those are nearly the same thing.
No, not even close.
No, that was the most drastic step you can take.
Yeah. That's the highest ranking enlisted person in the entire United States Army.
Yeah.
That's my next promotion, guys.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That part wasn't a joke. That was real talk. That's it, I guess. I don't know. Oh, my Star Wars anecdote, which you'll be excited to hear about because I know how much you love talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that the director of Rogue One actually put himself in that Darth Vader scene? He's one of the rebels that's running away, and he's the one that gets away with the thing.
I know. You said this last time we had this conversation.
That way he could say he was both in in Rogue One and in Episode 4.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty smart. That's it. That's all I got. Oh, another Top Gun. I don't know. Meh.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm telling you.
I saw the trailer for that. I'm like, yeah.
If Top Gun Maverick,
I don't want it to suck, but I don't have any faith.
If it is about the Chinese cloning Goose and then like a young Goose, digitally de-aged Goose as a Chinese pilot fights Maverick
if they turn
over the
Top
Sea
Gun
of
into
China,
an anime,
I'm telling you, that is a movie I would fucking watch. If it's literally just about an aging Maverick and all the other fighter pilots being edged out by drone dudes, I don't give a shit about that. Like, if it's just Tom Cruise being like, I'm still boyish charming even though I'm in like my 50s or something.
he's older than that, isn't he?
I don't know how old Tom Cruise
Better
is.
be, because I was a little kid in the 80s when Top Gun came out.
I don't know what to tell you.
I was like single digit years, and he was easily in his 20s, and I'm 40 now, so he's got to be.
Totally on board with cloned Goose, by the way. I know.
Cloned Goose, 100%. I'm 100% behind it. Sid, what do you got?
Well, I got my Battletech manual.
Yeah, your tech manual.
Been enjoying that. It's a lot of fun.
You and Rad are just preparing for season 4 by creating custom mechs.
Yep.
Okay.
I also got mailed this Stargate SGC founding member patch from Stargate Command. I don't know why, but I have it. So that's the thing. And it's just been a paraphernalia week for me. I also,
it's because you're one of the 3 people who watch Stargate Universe.
A friend of mine also gave me this Bajoran comm badge. So that's a thing too. it's been an interesting paraphernalia week for me. And once I get paid, I'm gonna be throwing in on that Kickstarter for the Battletech clan invasion.
Yeah, good Kickstarter to throw in on.
Other than that, yeah, I got some videos out this week. I actually found some stuff with the Epic Games Store, and Tim Sweeney, for some reason, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation, has been working with me via Twitter DMs to resolve some issues with the Epic Games Store. Don't know how the hell that happened, but sure, why not? Yeah, that's
all I
the
know
thing.
is that you're selling out, SidAlpha. You should be spending all your time in Twitter DMs lambasting him for his terrible corporate practices. You don't need to work with these people. Scream at him at maximum volume. That's the only way to communicate with the... Oh, sorry, I can't keep going.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I actually have a video that as soon as we finish up here, I have to go record and then rapid edit and post, because I managed to figure out exactly what was going on and why, and proof it, and record my desktop while I was showcasing exactly what was going on and why. So yeah, I figured some stuff out.
I believe you.
Great. Yeah, and it looks like YouTube took their thumbs off the scale for a day and then freaked the fuck out and then slammed their hands back down on the scale.
I don't know what you're talking about, but all right.
Because my views actually and subscribers and everything normalized, and then it's like, oh God, no, stop. Can't have them succeed.
Yeah, man. YouTube is specifically attempting to destroy you.
I mean, I am problematic.
You're the worst.
I am. I've been called problematic many a time.
Look, can we just jump back to customizing mechs? Because that has been my jam for like the last 2 nights. I've stayed up irresponsibly late. Like,
yeah, I've been reading up on this stuff, and
I've been agonizing over like tonnage ratios and engine size, and oh my God, it's been ridiculous.
Like wing and ground effect vehicles.
What the fuck? Do you even know what wing and ground effect is?
That's when you put those neon lights down at the bottom of your car.
No.
Ground effects.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Is that what you think wing and ground effect is?
I know that's what ground effects are.
That's not lights. Oh, I honestly can't tell whether you're joking or not.
They're a cross between hovercraft and fixed-wing aircraft. Effectively created a unit type that can fly at an average.
Close the fucking book, Sid. I asked if you knew what it was, not if the book knew what it was.
Barney, Sid.
Do you actually know what wing and ground effect is?
I don't know what wing and ground effect is. I do know what ground effect is.
All right. So wing and ground effect is when a plane is designed to fly low enough that the shockwave of its passing hits the ground and reflects up and hits the back end of the wing. I know it sounds weird, but imagine that the force of the plane moving through the air helps keep it aloft
to create the lift.
Indeed. So the plane uses way less energy. However, you have to make a janky ass looking plane in order to make it do that, because the wings have to be fucking massive and they have to fly really low. However, they are super sick for like low power cargo missions over long distance. They're very popular in Africa. So wing and ground effect is very cool, and you will never see it on this Battletech game. They have no point on the battlefield. You can't maneuver in them. You go to take a combat turn and bank, and the plane just goes bloop, and you die. You die. Any combat maneuvering any maneuvering at all in a wing and ground effect vehicle will cause you to rapidly lose altitude. And since you're flying low already, rapid altitude loss means crashing into the earth. So don't even look at wing and ground effect vehicles. If I see you designing a wing and ground effect aerospace fighter, I'm going to dump it in the trash where it belongs.
No, I just happened to open the book to that page. That's
got my eyes on you, SidAlpha.
It's like, let me come up with just the most convoluted shit to make Arthur's head explode.
I like that you're looking forward to wasting my time.
Look, can we just take a second?
I'll find another thing like Vox Machina.
Yeah, I want to mention, by the way, Sid recommended that I try Vox Machina, which is a VR game. Okay, you can only play it in VR.
Amazing.
You like
VR.
reach forward and you have to grasp joysticks and stuff. So anyway, I decided to skip the tutorial like a real cool dude, right? And then the computer is screaming at me like, eject, eject, pull the ejection handle between your feet. And I'm like reaching up to pull what looks like an ejection handle. It's a horn. So I reach down between my legs to hit the ejection handle, right? I'm in a panic. Combat's going on. There's loud noises. I hit myself in the nuts with my controller, essentially. Punch myself in the nuts for SidAlpha, everybody. Sid's dying over here. I want to thank Cotton's mom for getting this far through the intros. I'm sure at some point she'll have watched this. I feel like I've really disappointed her and every member of Cotton's family right now.
My dad will probably think it's funny.
It reminds me of that movie
My man.
Idiocracy, and the guy watches the show Ow My Balls.
I've still never seen Idiocracy.
Oh my
despite
god, you gotta watch it.
numerous people telling me to
Fantastic.
do it. I want to add one last thing. My mom is trying to get me to run for a state seat in the government as a Democrat, and I registered as an independent years ago in West Virginia. And let me tell you, that is the most awkward conversation I've ever had. I walked in to get registered, and they were like, now you can register as a Democrat or a Republican. And I was like, I would like to register as an independent. Reminder that I'm 18 at the time. I walked in the day I turned 18, and they're like, well, you can register Democrat, Republican. And I'm like, I would like an independent. They're like, but you won't be able to vote in the primaries. And I was like, I would like to register as an independent. And now my mom is like, register as a Democrat, vote as a Democratic candidate. So she's been making some calls with Democrats, okay? Today, I got a letter from the person who would be my opponent, the guy who currently holds the seat, the Republican seat, sent me a best wishes letter.
Oh
that is
damn!
that is the most powerful flex in history.
He straight up said you good luck, have fun. Like fucking straight up, dude.
I'm dying. I'm pretty sure that this guy won the last election by 30 points. There's no way. I'm not even gonna bother challenging him at this one, Mom.
He's gonna send you another letter afterwards and just be like, GG.
I don't know why the Democrats. No. So I asked a Democratic pollster. I was like, I'm not going to run for the seat unless you can provide me with real statistical data. And she was like, we can win the seat if we do hard work and we just get in there and we do some vote drives.
God.
And I was just like, can I speak with someone who has talked
Can I
to
speak
a
with someone
statistician?
competent, please?
Yeah. I'm fucking dying.
I would like a strategy that doesn't involve cupcakes and rainbows, please.
I gotta be honest. I feel like with the Democrats controlling basically every other seat locally, they just don't give a shit about the seat. And so they just no effort let it fall to the side. Oh my god.
They're gonna run a real Bobby Newport style campaign.
It's been so wild today. I got that shit in the mail and I just died.
That's so funny.
All right, let's get around to playing this game.
It'd have been even better if it was a get well soon card.
More like a get good soon.
just like off the rack, just some rando get well
Nice to
soon
get-
card.
No, it was even better because it had a little thing printed in the lower left-hand corner informing me that taxpayer money had not been used to send this card.
No, I spent my own shiny nickel to send you this card.
Exactly.
I spent my own 27 cents to dunk on you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I assume that most of the card was pre-printed, right? The lower left-hand corner with that message, it had his face, his, contact information. I assume that these are pre-printed, and then he just like adds whatever message to the middle of it.
Somehow his face on it makes it worse, though.
Now I'm just imagining this guy just dunking on other people at the same time.
Yeah,
He's just sitting at his big.
I mean, with a
open desk.
30-point
just
victory
throwing him
lead
out,
in the
okay, for
polls, he
this
can dunk
one,
on whoever he wants to.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we've come to the agreement that tonight we're not going to do the dropship attack mission. And by agreement, I just basically mean I was like, guys, what if we don't do that tonight? And you guys were like, ugh, whatever.
Yeah. That's right. Ugh.
Speaking of, I need you guys to fill in your cards over here these cards that indicate your gunnery pilot, because every time I talk to you guys, you're like, I increased my X or Y, and I'm like, well, I don't know what your X or Y is now anymore.
I don't either.
Well, you're the person. What? Did any of our pilots get injured in the last battle? For some reason, I feel like maybe Sid got shot at some point.
I did. I think I took. Yeah, I took a.
I got shot on my cockpit, so yeah.
Okay, so make sure you make sure you mark down that your bot is one lower than what it should be. So like,
What if you have 7s? That means you have 2s, right? I'm a 2-2.
7 is 1 because it's 8 minus your number.
Okay.
If you have 7s, you're 1-1.
I'm a 1-1.
Congratulations.
I didn't realize that.
Okay.
I've been doing all the math like I was a 2-2.
Remind me again how we calculate our bod.
It's a score, right? It's literally a statistic.
Yeah.
I think somebody. Okay, all right. Now we got them all. Ronan is a 4-4 pilot. That doesn't sound right.
No.
You're 1-1.
Yeah.
I'll get in there and change it.
Oh, I just changed Black Rabbits. I fucked it up. I did that.
Well, what is Black Rabbits then?
It's 1-2.
All right, we're 100%. We're on target here tonight, guys. We're not scrambling to do this.
Nailed it.
Oh, so our bod is literally just our body attribute.
Yep.
Divided by 100. 100.
All right, seems like we got all that stuff. Are any of you spending XP to recover your edge?
I recover all of my edge.
I already did that.
Okay.
And I increase my edge stat to 500, giving myself an additional maximum point of edge.
Wow. You realize you're now the rapier of
I'm now the edgiest of edgisons.
You now match rapier in terms of edge.
So I now have 5. I match him?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. I make it 600.
You have another 100 to spend?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yes, actually. Yeah.
350 XP saved up from the last
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, I guess.
There's a certain point that we don't know what to do with our XP.
Yeah, I just run out of things to do for the most part.
I mean, I'm buying out of cockpit skills, so.
No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna leave it at 5. I'm not gonna do 6. That's silly.
Yeah, I'll buy a second point of edge.
Okay. So the only question is if you guys want to take the garrison contract at the factory or whether you want to pull all your forces back and reconvene at Castle Crow.
So is the garrison contract specifically to stay at the factory?
Yes. Hold position in all current force locations and do not allow any clan activity in those locations.
I would like to know what the payout is of that before I commit to that sort of deal.
The payout's somewhere in the upper range of 60 million, which is about what you would get paid to commit 1 or 2 lances to a month of activity.
How much does a broadsword dropship cost?
In excess of 250 million, I think. We would need to get someone who has the aerospace thing, which I don't own.
Now that's how much it would cost to buy one, but having a clan dropship would be, I would assume, far more valuable if we were to sell that technology.
Yeah. All right, let me offer this compromise then.
So what you're saying is, as long as we don't lose $110 million worth of equipment and supplies in obtaining this dropship,
or lose your life,
or money ahead.
Yeah.
How about you pull all your forces back to Castle Crow and you spend this episode taking a breather, repairing all your mechs, and then next episode when we have a full amount of time and maybe we can get Glimo on, we do the ambush mission.
I'm fine with that. I'm not
Very
pushing
well.
to do the ambush now. I'm just saying let's
I know you don't want to let that ship get away, okay?
I don't.
Everybody but Cotton is so hot for that ship.
What everyone is wanting to do is to take the contract and then lead the clans to our front doorstep. So basically, well, we were sticking to the stipulations of our contract. So
what I would like to do is I would like to negotiate the garrison contract such that we pull garrison on the opposing continent, which keeps us out of their hair for their operation on the capital and leaves us free to run a diversionary operation across the sea that would also aid their operation to take the capital. So it would be win-win for them. We both accomplish staying out of their way, and we also accomplish assisting in their objective.
Thinning out the forces.
Now, maybe it's not for the full garrison contract. Maybe we negotiate it down to a piece of that. But I still feel like we accomplished their goal of staying out of their operation so they can come in and take the capital and
well, then let me suggest this.
Get the glory or whatever.
The first scene is the four of you in the factory of Foundation Industrial Works, this city-sized factory complex. In the background, we can see mechs being worked on. We can see elemental suit remains being gathered together and disassembled. There's a list next to you of mechs that have cockpit replacements or are in the process of being repaired. And more importantly, there is a message outgoing for you. You are requesting contact with Lieutenant General Christine Marn to renegotiate this contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, let me ask, what is the plan? Who's doing the negotiations, and what is your thesis statement? What's your elevator pitch to the general?
Molly will be making the pitch. I'm going to aid her.
Okay.
Because I have to be present and kind of agree with what she says as the authority for the unit. So I can help lend credence to her statements.
I'm probably going to actually get talk to Medbay while they're doing that as well.
Okay. Let's have that conversation first. You head over to Medbay. Jerome, he is pulling actual guts out of an elemental battle suit. He's like removing dead elementals from their suits. So he's got on like Team Fortress 2, the Doctor style, huge long gloves, smock, face mask, and he just starts and says, Lieutenant Gray, please excuse me. I'm busy recovering technology. Is there something I can help you with?
Yeah, did I catch you at a bad time?
Any time is a bad time when you're doing this.
Yeah, all right.
It would take me about 10 minutes to get all of my gear off, so I'm afraid we're just going to have to work and talk at the same time. And he gets out like a little buzzsaw and yeah, they're noises that you did not think that the human body should be making that are happening.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you knew anything about this broadsword.
Well, I've been on it before. It's broadswords are an odd ship. I don't know if you know a lot about them, but they're a redesign of the Inner Sphere Leopard. And in order to accommodate clan military doctrine of having 5 mechs, the front end of the ship, where the aerospace fighters would launch out of, was turned into a mech bay. This means that the 2 mech bays at the end and front of the ship need to be connected by a corridor, but only Scout class mechs can fit through that corridor.
All right, so
technicians must travel the length of the ship in order to repair a full star of mechs.
Right. So at least one of the mechs in that broadsword is a light mech.
Well, not necessarily. Okay. If it was a scout mech, they could walk it back to the other mech bay and then deploy it from the front of the mech. But you could put a considerably larger mech in the front end, but then the technicians have to travel between the 2 locations.
I'm guessing they don't care about the technicians much.
In Zero G... He just looks at you for a second and then continues as if, well, obviously. In Zero-G operations, this isn't a problem, but a dropship is rarely in Zero-G operations.
Right. Could there be a cloning bay in there?
Almost certainly.
Is that typically standard for every dropship?
Absolutely. We need to be able to have every dropship able to facilitate elemental or Mechwarrior rehabilitation.
It's a phone call.
Do you need to take that?
Yeah, 1 second.
Brilliant.
There's some incredibly disgusting crunching noises happening as just a bone saw gets in there, and then he like pulls out what could be a human heart the size of a coconut. Just a reminder that elementals are like 8.5 to 9 feet tall.
So while he takes that call, let me talk to you about my thesis statement for this negotiation.
Yeah.
Well, I just have a few questions while I put this together in my head.
Sure.
I'm looking back on what you posted in the Discord earlier. We still have. Is everything you posted back to full operational status? Like, what's the status of our Wolverine?
Every mech that you have is at full operational status, with the exception of the Archer.
Because we don't have replacement shoulder.
Indeed. You have a replacement for the Swayback cockpit, Devastator cockpit, Timberwolf A cockpit, plus the Timberwolf is fully repaired. The Hunchback 4G gets a knee replacement. You can pick up a Goshawk from Foundation Industrial Works, but they want to talk to you about it first, and you can swap the Cauldronborn. You can fully repair the Cauldronborn and swap it either to the Prime or the B configuration.
Okay, and I know Pondo had mentioned being
Pondo does
interested
want Cauldronborn
in the
B
configuration.
I think he just wants out of that Devastator.
Maybe so. So here's my. This would be my pitch. So assuming that the intention of the garrison contract is to leave a protective force at the factory, and also to provide operational clarity to their efforts and mission statement to take the capital by removing our forces from it. My offer would be to garrison a single lance of mechs here in the factory and return all other operational forces back to the eastern continent, where we will execute a diversionary tactic to lure and ambush a limited enemy force that could potentially be follow-on forces to the enemy effort in the capital.
I mean, if I remember correctly, they're dropping a regiment down on this planet. They're just going to say, no, we don't need your help.
Well, it's less about what they need and more about, I think we've earned this small piece. We know you don't need it. That's fine. We fully accept the fact that you don't need it, but we want to be able to do our part, and we want to be able to, plant our flag, so to speak, in the dirt, so that we can claim some small victory. Because when you guys have dominated and done the job and left, we're still going to be here, and we want to be able to have, even if it's just a small peripheral win off to the side. I feel like that's the least you could do, is to allow us that small piece of the fight, and it accomplishes all of your goals, and your mission stays out of your hair, protects what you wanted to be protect, and then also gives us what we want off to the side. So while that is benefiting us, we're prepared to negotiate down the garrison contract to something you would feel be more appropriate to that level of compliance. Like if the initial offer was for 60 million, Molly would first shoot for, 45 million.
Okay.
50.
I've been so authorized.
Yeah, let's have that conversation then.
Okay. You're gonna make me say all that again?
No, no, but we'll do something different, because this conversation is not going to go like how you think it's going to go.
I'm sure,
because you guys have made several assumptions.
I never would have doubted that.
Let's cut back to the end of the conversation with Jerome.
All right, now, is there like a slight possibility that the Galaxy
Commander.
Galaxy Commander, yeah, sorry. The Galaxy Commander could be in that dropship?
No.
Do you have any what could be left?
Yes. I offered this information to your forces several times, but you've ignored me. I'm glad you've come to ask me, however.
I've been used to getting ignored myself. I'm sorry.
I see. The Galaxy Commander usually stays attached to his personal overlord.
That overlord that's near us.
The one that's outside the factory right now, yes, that's his personal overlord.
Oh.
However, I do not believe his forces are with it, because as the local intelligence has said, the Assault Star his unit is attached to has been seen in the capital. He operates what's called a trinary supernova. But we've defeated almost all of the attached forces to it. You might recognize the 2C unit of refitted Inner Sphere mechs was one of his stars, and the unit of all Mad Cats was another one of his stars. There's also 75 elementals attached to his unit, and the Assault Star. The Assault Star, and I'm assuming probably only 10 or 15 elementals are left, are all that remains of his trinary supernova.
There's
Now,
at least 15 that went back, yeah.
it's
So
not
even if we don't defeat him, he's been humiliated.
it's not super clear as to exactly what's left, but from my own understanding, all of the broadswords forces have been wiped out. The Puma, Puma A, the Euler, and the Euler A were all attached to that, plus a unit of elementals, all which you defeated fairly early on in your campaign. In addition, in the same battle, you defeated one part of the Union dropships forces, Mad Cat, Summoner, Hellhound, Mad Dog, and Ebon Jaguar. You've left the Ebon Jaguar attached to your base as a power supply for some time, I understand. It's never clear to me where exactly the Ebon Jaguar is located. Sorry, I think you people call it a Cauldron-born.
Yeah. That's you can use your regular term for it.
According to this, local Inner Sphere forces have defeated the following Battlemechs: Nova, 2 Dragonflies, and a Battle Cobra, which would leave a Gossok, Battle Cobra, Dragonfly, Gossok, and Battle Cobra left. The Assault Star, and maybe 10 Elementals. That's essentially enough for slightly more than a binary of mechs from what was once over 50 mechs. Almost all of that work has been done by your unit in particular. What you haven't done any touch on is the 10 clan aerospace fighters attached to the unit.
Yeah, we kind of had some, and then I guess they shot them down like instantly.
Well, I'm sure your 2 aerospace fighters were capable of having a very good showing against 10, but yes, they probably died very quickly.
Yeah, maybe.
So he goes to hand you part of an arm bone, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry, you're not scrubbed in," and then throws it in a trash container behind him.
It's just.
I know it's gruesome, Lieutenant, but I have a theory that we might be able to use the suits to rebuild themselves using hard gel. And whatever scraps we can get together, I think we could get anywhere between 25 and 10 elemental suits fully working. They should come with the technology to help pilots train themselves. Now, of course, they'll need to be adjusted for the size of Inner Sphere pilots, and we won't be able to have the 8 to 10 years of effectiveness that any elemental pilot would have training from childhood. But you might be able to engender upon yourselves a infantry unit with battle armor technology. Again, they will be nowhere near, and let's be clear, I haven't spoken to the captain about this because I'm not prepared at this time to make that recommendation, but we need to hose these things out one way or another.
I really want that.
As he says that, he lifts an entire leg out of the leg of the suit. You'd be surprised how much legs weigh, really.
No, I haven't. It's probably like 100-pound leg right there, maybe more. Jiminy, jeez. Okay, all right, yeah. No, it sounds like a fantastic idea if you're able to actually get it running. I'm sure you and the Baron could probably figure that out pretty well together. But
well,
not the Baron it's a different Baron.
Yes, I understand. You mean the Baron who runs your technical operations. No one has been
Yes.
able to find him, however.
Yes.
My understanding was that he was on vacation in the capital.
Oh, that's not great.
No, it's not great.
Though that would make it a little bit easier to determine the barons that we have now.
Okay.
Sorry, that was...
The dog flopping its ears in the background? That was hella legit.
All right. So you said there was 3 Ghost Hawks that are left?
Yes.
Tell me
Although,
the
my
lighter
understanding is that this factory might have a Ghost Hawk left, in which case, one of them is not in the field anymore.
one. So it'd be 2 Ghost Hawks.
Yes.
Battle Cobra, whatever that is.
So if the ones that we have, that are made all around are in between medium mechs and maybe heavy and lights.
They have very few medium mechs, mostly lights and an assault star, that will be backed by the Galaxy Commander, who is undoubtedly one of the finest elementals who's ever put the suit on.
Oh, he's an elemental. Wow. Okay.
Yes. You didn't think that when he was 9 feet tall on the propaganda footage?
I'm still learning as much as I can from your deals. It's very difficult to hack into those things. There's just... I've only been working on it
Our
for
codex. He
Yes.
raises his arm up and points to the wrist computer he's got. Yes, well.
There's something about aerospace fighters having a tattoo that makes them mad after about 20 years.
That is not... It's just like, that's a Jade Falcon thing, and we don't do that.
We went against Jade Falcons on
He's like,
one point.
those guys are dicks.
I mean, the relationship between the Jade Falcons and Steel Vipers is, those guys are dicks.
They were a bunch of assholes, I'd say. Though they didn't straight up declare Trial of Annihilation. What did we do for you guys to declare that anyway?
You would need to ask the Galaxy Commander that.
Okay.
I assume it was pillaging clan supplies on Core.
No, we kind of we jumped into the Core. They shot our jump ship, and then our drop ship crash landed into Core. From that point, we defended ourselves against at least the Star, I believe. There was a Mad Cat, a Fire Moth, I believe an Uller.
All right, I don't know the specifics, but I'm assuming you took salvage from that battle.
Yeah.
Yes, our people do not like your people when they do that.
Do you guys not do the same?
I will remind you that among the culture I previously belonged to, we believe that you Inner Sphere are an entire genetic legacy beneath us. We are taught for hundreds of years that you people are less human than a clansman. Even a ungenetically a free birth clansman is superior to an Inner Sphereman.
That sounds about right.
That you Inner Sphere must be released from the control of your autocrats, that they have guided your people towards genetic failure.
Okay. Now, I'll leave you to do your thing and cleaning up. Is there any other possibly crucial bits of information before we decide to do one last round, go after this broadsword?
I would suggest that you don't go after the broadsword, but that's it.
That's what I'm guessing. That's what I was guessing.
Capturing a dropship is extremely dangerous. More importantly, the things that are in the dropship will probably include some elementals as defense. Any infantry that go on board the dropship will need to contend with anti-elemental weaponry. You're talking men in armored suits for whom you will require cruise service machine guns or anti-vehicle rockets. in close combat up to a bridge that will be sealed and an engineering bay that will also be sealed. Even if there's only 5 elementals on board, you're still looking at needing 25, 30 men adequately armed. However, the prize is great. Capturing that broadsword I would suggest that you don't do it, however. You people seem very... How to say this?
Greedy?
No, you're very concerned about losses. You don't seem to be willing to part with your soldiers.
We tend to think more to the long term.
You've barely lost anyone on this campaign. You've left an incredible trail of destruction behind you. You even realize that? You've lost several mechs, but you've lost, what, 2 pilots and some technical support staff? The amount of damage that you've dealt to the clans here, you've essentially wiped out a cluster worth of material with 2 lances of active mechs.
I mean, we're currently still missing our dropship, which is not great. And then I believe half of our crew.
I thought the dropship was parked underwater somewhere. Didn't the Countess mention that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about it.
She did.
I was out driving around the country trying to find the Countess.
Okay.
Or at least the Lance. Anyway, all right. Mainly reason I want to get the dropship is because of the cloning software to help fix the Baron that is dying, missing some organs, and then the Baron that is missing his hands.
It is your unwillingness to part with them that I think will cost you more than you are willing to pay. I hate to say it as a medical man and as a doctor, but this man that we have in a medical coma, missing half of his body, it might be better to just allow nature to take its course.
Well, honestly, I say if there's a chance that we could help him out, I think we should take it.
Very well. That is, of course, your choice.
Personally, we could still use his help. Currently, we still got a whole bunch of mess after this whole mess is over to get through. There was a whole deal about some lady didn't quite like us, so she lured us into a trap. Then I think it was...
Yes, I apologize, but I don't understand Innisfield politics, and it's nothing like clan councils.
Yeah, I would say it'd probably be more akin to you dealing with your bandit clans.
The idea that I have joined a bandit organization is unsettling.
You did join an organization that your organization declared trial annihilation to kill all of us.
You people have some measure of honor, normally, I think.
Yes, that's why I'm thinking about jumping on a dropship in order to save some people.
So he gets a hose out and starts pouring water into the thing. And you can see him like brushing stuff aside. He pulls out like a little toothbrush and starts scrubbing some of the electronics.
You know what? That's, yeah, I want to just leave you be. That's all I needed for now.
Understood.
I'm just going to go somewhere else. Not smelling like burning flesh.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Okay, good to know. The guy just walks off.
That's where you start getting the looping dialogue tree.
Have we done any kind of like accountability formation? Like, who's here?
Who's missing that? Your people are spread between a submarine, the castle, and the factory now. Planetary communications were just restored several minutes ago, so your accountability is 0.
We should do a head count.
I mean, Molly, I ask, but Molly doesn't care about that stuff. She doesn't know anybody, so she's not, you know what I mean? But she might recommend it to the commander.
I've kept the Crow's Black, the official roster list updated with who's there, who's not, and who's dead. So everyone that is there, and I mean, I'll share that again on the Discord channel for you guys, but it's pinned somewhere. There you go. You do have several people that are still missing, but no one of significant note. A lot of the techs are missing. But Rapier, your pilot of your dropship, your so Rapier's here, your dropship pilot's here, your medical team is back. Several of your pilots are dead, including Hard Rock, who no one mourned over, you motherfuckers. Tachi is dead, which means that you've killed 2 of the 3 siblings over the course of 2 seasons.
Well, only one more to go.
What's the color code here? Oh,
the color code indicates their level of competence in that particular job.
Gotcha. Doesn't have anything to do with alive or dead.
Indeed. The italics means dead.
Got it.
It also will indicate which mechs are dead as well. For instance, Phoenix Hawk, dead. Flashman's gone. I guess I need to undivot the Devastator. The Zeus is gone. So do you want to do this call now?
Sure.
All right, so you get the FedCom sunburst over a fist. It says 35th Lyran Reserve RCT, Regimental Combat Team. And then a very haggard-looking, maybe mid-30s-year-old man wearing a major's uniform of the Federated Commonwealth says, "This is Major Jenkins. You're calling for the Lieutenant General about mercenary services?"
Yes, sir. That's correct.
I am the Mercenary Reserve Liaison Officer for this particular excursion. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
Outstanding. My name is Sergeant Molly Olson. I'm the Civil Military Operational Authority here for Crow's Black.
I see. And I assume you will be accepting our garrison contract to just hold your position, not do anything. Your turn in this fight is over with. You've done great stuff for the Lyran Commonwealth and the Federated Commonwealth.
It is a very generous contract, and we're honored to have it be offered to us. We would like to possibly negotiate some addendums and adjustments to it, though, if you'd be willing to.
How much additional money
discuss.
would you like?
Well, sir, we're actually be requesting to operate on the Eastern Continent during your assault on the capital.
So he picks up a set of glasses and begins cleaning them and says, "I'm sorry. You've been fighting for 2 weeks straight, and you want to keep fighting, even though we want to pay you to stop fighting."
Yes.
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, who was that on the call?
My authorizing authority.
I see.
Maxwell Harridan. Pleasure.
I assume that's Sir Harridan.
Indeed. Yes.
Okay, I understand. This is baffling to me. I have been in charge of this post for 5 years, and I have literally never met a mercenary unit that would not accept free money.
I understand, sir. I understand, and it's not our intent to offend or baffle. It's just
please,
that,
I'm sure we can work something up. It sounds like you have something in mind. Why don't you hit me with what you've got?
Well, what we'd like to do is we'd like to leave a land's worth of security forces here garrisoned at this station in the factory to meet the requirements of your garrison intent. And I can only assume your intent, so please correct me if I assume incorrectly at some point. And we would like to take our remaining forces beyond that security lance and transport them back to the Eastern Continent, where we can reconnoiter our forces, regain accountability of our unit, and execute a ambush on a small stray clan dropship.
You want to try to steal a clan dropship?
Well, the primary intent is to render this enemy force non-mission capable, but I mean, as you well know, having worked with mercenary units for a long time, of course, any battlefield salvage that we can get our hands on will take. But the intent is to neutralize a stray enemy asset.
I understand. What kind of forces would you be willing to commit to this particular endeavor?
To the ambush?
Yes.
We have an assault lance, on our supporting artillery lance, and an ECM equipped scout mech that we will use to lure and pounce on the few remaining stray. What our intel points to being probably a light mech lance, to draw them away from your capital conflict and bring them off to the side where we can have one sort of final symbolic victory over in our home continent.
Now, I'm noticing I didn't hear that you have a number of infantry assets to deploy inside of the dropship.
Out of character, do we? We don't actually.
You have the
employ
good old boys and the Lyran special, the Loki operatives. So they essentially form a 30-person platoon.
Sir, we have approximately a platoon worth of personnel, but if you would be willing to assist in any of this manpower, I mean, we'd be much appreciated. We know that you have your priority elsewhere, but this operation would be beneficial to your efforts in the capital. So I realize that's a big ask, and that's why we'd be more than happy to negotiate down the price of the garrison contract.
If you were looking to
accommodate that,
take this dropship by surprise, any forces that we threw in your direction would be inestimably obvious. It would be difficult to hide our landing. I have to tell you, I believe that this operation that you have could be extremely worthwhile. I have several caveats.
So. Yes, sir. We're more than willing.
We would obviously want you to turn the dropship over to us once you are done capturing it.
And
we would allow you to keep 100% of all salvage you find on the field during this battle, but the dropship itself must be turned over to the New Avalon Institute of Science.
I can understand that, and we certainly wouldn't want to impede on the Inner Sphere's ability to advance its technological advantage in the upcoming conflict with future clan forces. We would ask, however, for fair compensation should that asset be captured and turned over to you.
Of course.
There is also some equipment on board that we suspect to be on board that we would require the use of before the dropship was turned over.
What particular equipment do you believe?
We suspect the dropship contains cloning technology. That we do have a Baron on this planet that is in dire need of such facilities, as well as some of our own crew, and myself, indeed, could make use of.
I hope you understand that if such cloning technology existed, using such a particular asset towards inner sphere development could lead to immense leaps in public health.
Indeed.
And again, to further fatten the pot, so to speak, we have some highly capable medical personnel that's been with the unit for a long amount of time here that we're willing to guinea pig these efforts to perform these medical procedures on our own personnel, which again would only the data from these procedures could only further benefit the Inner Sphere's cause.
Consider it a proof of concept.
Your suggestion is that the dropship is captured and remains on Kolovrati, and your experts in the field of cloning will show results and provide such information to the Federated Commonwealth military.
Indeed. At which time the dropship would then be released from stationing here to your discretion.
How long would such a procedure take to clone replacement organs?
I will have to confer with our medical experts on that. They are running estimates on that right now, as of course it's not an entirely known level of technology. They're working that now, sir. So it's not unlike astronavigation or whatever they call it in Battletech.
Okay, yeah. Let's make a oppose roll for this contract. I'm gonna take these big dice.
Is this major attracted to the female persuasion?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Excellent. And I'm mating as well.
I literally only have a 12.
You rolled a 12?
Yeah.
Where are the dice you want me to roll?
I need 2 dice. It won't matter.
I am rolling at a +9.
Jesus.
Does that include my aid?
Does not. So +10. So there you go.
So it's 18.
18.
Okay. That is 6, margin of success of 6. So let me just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'm gonna have to look in the book to see what that kind of.
So yeah, I'm definitely trying very hard not to tip our hand that we have a clan bondsman.
I noticed that. You don't have one clan. You have like
we have a lot of
clans already.
Yeah. We have an entire clan tech team.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to write myself a little note to remind and slide it to the commander.
You have 3 clan tech teams.
Let's say we have 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a little note on a sticky note and slide it to the commander, and it says, basically, we need to incognito all of our clan personnel, and
that is going to be incredibly difficult.
Have them scrubbed for
by 5%
clan affiliate type things.
Net. So you have a 6th step. 5 is a 30% increase. Let me just do some math here.
So ideally, I'd like to be paid for the dropship.
Indeed.
And for the garrison contract.
Yeah, for a partial of the garrison and for the dropship.
So he comes back to you with...
So even in the case of a failure, we don't capture it. We still want the garrison.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
He comes back to you with, it's like hundreds of pages of writers and all of that other stuff. But it's totally boilerplate normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's an offer between leaving a lance to garrison the factory and even attempting the dropship capture mission is 780 million sea bills based on the forces you're committing. If you capture the dropship and turn it over to them post-medical experimentation, they will pay you 275 million for it.
Did you say
sold?
Did you say 780 million
No.
for the operation?
Yes, 780 million. Yes.
780 million
Yes.
to commit to
Garrison plus committing to attacking with the forces you have.
And are they able to supply any forces or no? Was that a logistically just can't make it happen?
I mean, if they supply forces, they're going to have to land a dropship with the forces.
Okay. They can't supply them on this side of the continent and we transport them over.
So their contract is before they land and try to defeat the last of the clans, or 24 hours before landing operations begin. They want you to do this and pull a clan dropship away, pull clan forces away, leave the capital less defended.
Got it. Okay.
So you guys are the prelude to the counter invasion.
Even with a failure here, guys, I feel like this is a far cry from 60 million.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally worth it.
I mean,
we'll need to spend some RP time here trying to bolster our militia. Finding anyone.
The good news is that you have 2 days to do that before you need to do that.
I feel like that becomes I feel like I agree to terms with this major. If I'm so authorized, I thank him for his time. I appreciate it, sir. It's always a pleasure working with a seasoned professional such as yourself. So I look forward to working again with you again in the future.
Understood. Major Jenkins out. As he
Sergeant Olsen out.
Fades out, the starburst and the fist shows up. The theme of the Federated Commonwealth plays, and then it cuts back out. Selena, what's happening with you? I mean, over in a corner, there's a guy handing legs to Bandito. Bandito's just like, ugh, and the dude's just like, oh, sorry, I forgot. And then dumping them in a bio-waste hazard bin. Maxwell and Molly are going like dollar signs in their eyes over a hollow unit in the middle of a table. What's happening with you during this time?
She's gonna be touching up the paint on a mech. trying to ignore everything going on around her.
Okay, because the paint on your mech is a fucking wreck.
I bet.
There's Gauss rifle holes. There's melted parts of the mech. Like, their Foundation Industrial Works people are just removing damaged plate. They're not even attempting to repair it and slapping new plate back on to save time. You're like out there and they're just like, watch out overhead, and they got like a 1-ton armor plate that they're moving past you. Someone drops a wrench and you hear it hit the ground, and someone's like, forget about it. Hey, come on, I'm walking here, buddy.
Yeah, as that's going on, she's just gonna like pull out.
What are we talking about? Is this still the same all black with bunny ears? What's the new paint job? You gonna paint your kills on the side of the mech?
It was always a bunny skull over
Yeah.
the plane. And she's gonna touch that back up. And then she'll just start marking all the kills on the lake of the Marauder. Little
Okay.
tally mark.
I don't know what you'd put to indicate Captain Maxwell Harridan's ego, but I'm sure you could paint that on the side of your mech.
There's not enough room even on a Marauder 2 for that.
She'll put a BR and then all of her kills and then an H and put the significantly less kills.
It's pretty unusual to paint somebody else's kill count on your mech.
Not when it's embarrassing low.
And she's gonna spend her time doing that until everybody else is free.
What mechs will you be leaving behind at the factory?
It's a great question.
Indeed.
Nothing important.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Oh, we should talk to them about the Goshawk.
Yes, we will need to do that. I'm thinking, is the Wolfhound it's a medium, right?
It's
It's a
not
light.
with you.
The
That's a
Wolverine's
Castle Pro.
medium mech. I'd say the Wolverine definitely.
I would leave probably the Wolverine, the Swayback.
If there's going to be elementals around, are you sure you want to leave the Swayback behind? That thing is
I think-
elemental death.
The Ghost Hawk would be better elemental death.
Both together would be even better than that.
I think we leave
Like,
the.
you just signed a contract that you have to leave 4 mechs behind, Sid, so you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
have to leave something. Now you have a submarine. If you
Submarine
leave,
counts as a mech.
if you leave right now, you can take any forces you want back. Bring something back in less than 24 hours. So you could get mechs from Castle Crow and bring them back here.
Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to storm the dropship with 2 mechs if possible. But what is our the Mongoose is also a light mech, so I would like to use the Raven and the Mongoose.
So the thing is,
But I guess the problem is we can't like cloak another mech, right?
that
Like,
is the problem. The only mech that can cloak itself is the Raven.
I think we should leave, go back, get the Wolfhound, Mongoose. Yeah, Wolfhound and Mongoose. Bring those back. Then
I think the Wolfhound, the Mongoose, the Catapult, and the Wolverine. I think we could leave. We'll take the Swayback with us back, and I'll take all of our heavies and assaults back,
if we can get the Ghost Hawk, we'll take the Ghost Hawk.
and take
Okay,
the Ghost Hawk
Sorry,
with us.
I didn't have time to write that down. You want to bring
Okay.
the Mongoose back. You
Yes.
also want to bring the Wolfhound back.
Yes.
So you're essentially leaving the garrison contract in charge for Lieutenant Howler.
Yes. Howler will be responsible. for the
Halvy's in charge. Mongoose. Sorry, what else are you leaving? Mongoose, Wolfhound.
Mongoose, Wolfhound, Wolverine,
Wolverine.
and Catapult. C1.
Catapult C1, yeah.
Catapult. Okay. That catapult, for some reason, I have it marked down that it's only partially repaired. Did it lose a torso or an arm or something?
I don't know. In the Discord, you have
Sid
it as
was-
full armor and internal repairs.
That
Yes,
might be
it
true. You might have had enough to repair it. So I guess it is in fact totally repaired.
I would even say, depending on how the conversation goes, depending on how the conversation goes with the factory, we may even be able to substitute their Banshee in there as one of those garrison mechs. But let's wait and negotiate with them. See how that goes.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to.
I know they want to keep the Banshee, but I want that Banshee.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot them some money. Like if we got this fat contract coming up, I don't think there's any reason not to negotiate.
Just buy your own Banshee.
Throwing some mill at them to make sure that they feel good about this Goshawk trade and the materials that they lost and all that kind of stuff. So
I would gladly pay you Friday for a cheeseburger today.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm writing some things down real quick. You're also bringing catapult
C1.
Well, you're bringing the C3, the one that can shoot.
I'm taking that back with us.
We're speaking in two different. You're leaving the catapult C1, the one that can shoot regular LRMs at the factory.
Yes,
you're
sir.
taking the Aero 4 C3 catapult with you. So
Correct.
I'm writing down what mechs you're theoretically taking with you for the audience's sake and also for mine. 2 long toms and a swift wind, including the not very oftenly seen Pavel Radzik. Swift wind and the has never made an impression on anyone, Lieutenant Zane Reiser. Literally been in the show since like episode 1, and yet no one knows who he is.
He had like a minor feud with McGurk, but when McGurk left, he just became like,
Rapier is more popular than he is. All right, so if I have this correct, you're deploying the following units to... You're draining everything you have from the castle, and you're deploying the following units to the dropship capture mission. Devastator, Marauder 2, Raven, Cauldronborn B, Hunchback G, Hunchback P, Catapult Arrow, Long Tom, Swiftwind, Timberwolf A.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Okay.
What about, didn't we still have the...
You technically still have an archer that is essentially non-functional. Missing half its weaponry.
Did you list the Flashman in there?
Flashman is dead. Fucking wreck.
Oh, that's destroyed?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought we
Sunk a man, you did, man.
It lost his torso.
Right.
That's why when I design mechs, I do it with standard fusion engines.
Listen to this motherfucker here. You just need to make a clan one, so it's only got 2 torso, and then you still have to.
Well, in 39, the light.
Yeah, that's right.
Available, which is like a clan engine, but not. It doesn't save as much weight.
All right. So you want to go talk to the CEO Marina to negotiate about this Goshawk that they have.
Yeah, she's not into girls, is she?
It's never been clear.
Roll some dice.
Okay, all right.
What she's into is a factory that works
and money. Profit margins.
So it takes a short while in order to get Marina away from running the base, but of course
I patiently wait.
Yep. She shows up in a hard hat and flak jacket with a, whatever the, I forget what they're called, a Zeus rifle strapped to her back, just like a standard issue FedCom sniper rifle. Looking exactly like someone who walked out of a Stalingrad recruiting poster in World War II. Rosie the Riveter meets, Ironmonger.
Yeah.
She sits down at the table and pulls out a handkerchief and wipes her face off and just goes, "So, I understand that you've taken a contract to protect my facility."
That's correct.
Did you think to talk to me about it first? Did any of you think to talk to me about it first?
Well, what's your input?
Well, I'm not going to argue with anyone, showing up here. I just feel like you could have cleared it with me as a CEO, and you are on our territory. We own this facility.
Indeed, certainly. You do own this facility. If you don't want us protecting the facility, we could always garrison our mechs external to the facility.
No, it's fine. I just would like a heads up in the future if you...
I understand you're wanting to be kept...
And it's not entirely your fault.
This is a bit of a planetary emergency, and sometimes things move quickly. I do apologize for the inconvenience.
Yeah, it's the Federated Sons could have given me a heads up as well.
I fully understand your frustrations. Let's talk about moving forward so that we can alleviate some of those frustrations.
Yes, we appreciate you helping drag the Banshee back.
We're, our condolences for the loss of the pilot. We understand he was a bit of a local hero.
3 pilots in addition to him, but Sergeant Johnson will always be going down in our history as the one who held the line at the last moment and provided the critical, pivotal role in helping you to... Why are you laughing?
Oh, that's an out of character chuckle. Let me just be clear.
Sergeant Johnson gave his life for his wife and his daughter. If we all survive this invasion, and it's looking increasingly like we will, the Banshee will be dedicated in his name, and his daughter will be, we've discussed with her mother, on our dime sent to the New Avalon Institute of Science, where she will be getting a degree, a dual degree, a master's in business, and also a bachelor's in Mechwarrior operations. She will return and take up her father's post, piloting his mech.
I have no doubt that she will do her lineage proud.
There will be a service for Sergeant Johnson in about 3 hours if you'd like to attend.
Of course.
Actually, I
would be honored.
Very well. I'll have my aide send you the information now.
I would like your permission to extend that invitation to the rest of...
Of course. Now, our people's legal department will need to talk further with your Countess. We've just gotten word that apparently your mechs were on one of our ships, and after being warned not to board that particular ship, you did. A battle ensued between a 3-way of forces, and hundreds of millions, possibly billions of sea bills of equipment was not only lost, but we will need to pay to have it dredged out of a deep port harbor. That is an issue for another day, and one that our lawyers will undoubtedly eviscerate whatever lawyers your people have. But as a personal token of thanks for what you have done here, we had captured a clan mech almost completely intact. We were able to drag it back into the factory using what forces we had, and it seems that you have the repair capability to swap out the cockpit and get everything working. Now, we've been taken to calling it the Vapor Eagle, but apparently it's also called a Goshawk.
I mean, that's very generous of you, and we're very grateful for every single bullet that we can bring to bear in this conflict for our very lives. So it's with great gratitude that we accept this, and I want to make sure that you feel like you're getting a good deal here. And I know this is, you're offering this in thanks, but I would like to extend that into a positive future relationship as well. So,
well, apparently we already have a positive future relationship with your company.
I can't speak to the battle of the lawyers. That's never been my battleground. But
are you
I
sure?
can certainly,
apparently you've already signed a contract with me.
I can assure you personally that if it's within my power, I will try to make every effort towards assisting in you recovering any assets that you may have lost in. I
mean, she slides you over a familiar looking contract that includes tax breaks, some lordships, a set of 4 patent tanks. And she's just like, we already have a future together. Your people will be paying my people quite a bit of money in the future.
And I hope it's fruitful for everyone.
It will certainly be so. We have shed blood for each other. That means something where I come from, which is here.
I certainly agree. So we'll take the contract. Does she feel like there's pressure for this to happen right now? Or is this like a take the contract home and bring it back tomorrow kind of situation?
What contract are we talking about?
Didn't she just slide over a contract with like lordships?
No, this is the contract that you signed with Operations Officer Steve Gary like 7 episodes ago.
Yeah, where was he at though? Was that
He
at
was
the,
at the Foundation
that
Industrial
was at the
Works.
port, right?
No, the Eastern
Oh, right. Yeah,
desert plant. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
they're
That was the
same
one that he
business.
gouged the shit out of us on.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm not bringing that up with
he
her.
works for her. No, she already brought it up with you.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna discuss my opinion of it.
Well,
Right.
good, because she feels like she's about to get a whole lot of money out of that
She
contract.
feels great about it, I'm sure. And then when the Countess gets a hold of the copy, she's gonna go, "Fuck no."
I feel like when the Countess gets a hold of a bill for almost sinking a container ship full of Foundation Industrial Works equipment, she's gonna go, fuck.
I feel like there's got to be some law.
I mean,
about,
that was what's her name?
There's
other-
gonna be all sorts of law. I mean, there was a terrorist action on board. Which group was the terrorist? No one's really sure right now, but
and that's why we made sure to
clans got involved.
Everything.
We're looking at like a 4-year lawyer battle. There's gonna be more money spent on lawyers than there was equipment.
part of the
lost
show that I have no interest in whatsoever.
Well, look, if there's
We'll
one
be
thing I
having-
know, Sid loves episodes that are entirely devoted to a
litigation
courtroom battle. It happens like once a season, no matter what show it is.
That's fine. Sergeant Olsen doesn't care about any of that upper level bullshit.
She's
like,
just
hey.
letting you. She's showing you the contract and letting you know, like,
No,
there's
that's fine. I got you.
there's a future between
Yeah.
your two corporations.
That's great.
One that you will pay them a lot of money for.
That's what they think anyway.
We'll see. Yeah. I think what we had established earlier, that contracts made under threat of death are often null and void.
If Operations Officer Steve Gary was holding a gun to your head, it would be duress.
He was like, "Don't leave or we'll shoot you." I think that's pretty much the same thing.
That was very
I
much.
think it was
leave.
don't leave or we'll turn you over to the clan occupying forces.
This is
Okay, I don't
exactly
think there's
the
a
same
big
thing.
difference there. I feel like
That
the
is- that
judge-
is-
I feel like
is a
that very
contract
fine
signed
point.
under duress.
I feel like that very fine point is the one that will be argued in a court of law.
No,
That's
that's
fine.
if you don't sign this, we'll turn you over to these people who will kill you. That's a contract signed under duress. I'm
I
sorry.
feel like I hope that you have a very high role in your lawyer operations skill.
Well, he better get a big
Well,
bonus because
let's
we got a
see.
strong case.
I still have a fair amount of XP to spend, so let me here.
Since, like, well, I've actually been studying law in my
Actually,
free time.
I have a +7 in this now, so
Yeah, well, 780 million will pay for some pretty good lawyers. I feel like so.
there is no lawyer skill.
I know
on-
there isn't a lawyer's skill because it would be ridiculous to run a Battletech game where you were a lawyer.
Yeah, that's fine.
That
If she's-
Gauss rifle fire did follow proper procedure.
I want to ask her if she has anybody that would be interested or willing to temporarily subcontract with a unit to participate in a infantry operation against
An
clan
exercise.
forces.
How much are you willing to offer per person?
Tell me in universe what's like a fair compensation level for a standard mercenary. I mean, I feel like we'd probably have two rates. We'd have a rate for militia, like civilian militia, and a rate if they have any combat veterans. We would pay more for those individuals.
So the monthly pay of a regular infantryman is 750 C-bills.
So I would
A special operations and a veteran special operations officer would be more like 1,500.
Okay, I would offer double that.
So 1,500 for a regular infantryman.
Yes, and
Okay.
3,000 for a veteran. And I'd call that hazardous duty pay. This is I won't
Yeah,
like.
So you're willing to offer them a entire month's pay for one mission worth of work.
Yeah, well, doubled, so it's actually 2 months worth of pay, right?
Mhm.
Or I guess 1 month of pay with hazardous duty pay on top of it. It's a high risk operation. I don't make any efforts to hide that from her when I pitch that to her to
All
put
right,
it
you get 400 people signed up.
at.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Ure.
Um,
Should we try to
they do
vet them
need
at all,
properly-
or-
They do need to be properly equipped with any sort of anti-armor weaponry as
Yeah,
possible.
we're willing to pay her if she can provide munitions for them.
So
Whatever would
they
be
only
appropriate.
have what the factory has left over. So it's
Mhm.
mostly small arms, SMGs, rifles. They're out of like any anti-vehicle rockets, or they got some support weapons
They don't have any,
machines.
they don't have any SRM launchers or
no, they ran out of that days ago.
Okay. Then my next to-do list is to go over to our clan techs and get them on stripping down any remaining elemental, like one-off SRM launchers that they have.
So when you do that, Jerome appears over your shoulder. He's like stripping off these like
Disgusting gloves.
And he's just like, we need those launchers.
What do we need them for?
I need to speak with the captain about it, but I believe that we can recreate these elemental suits. With several weeks of work, I think we can help regrow them using hard gel and some leftover material and salvage. We could get between 10 and 25 elemental suits back in the field.
Okay. Is there a way you can pull the SRM launchers off to be used and then
temporarily,
and then put them back on?
All the SRM launchers are out of ammunition.
Can they be made to launch inner sphere SRMs?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm asking.
How much time would that take?
Several hours.
Okay. So what I'm asking is if these rocket pods can be pulled off,
yes,
used as a crew serve weapon temporarily.
I suppose it would be extremely difficult to aim with.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they're meant to be integrated into a battle suit, but I mean,
you understand the concept of operation for this dropship ambush.
Yes.
Okay. So do you think? What's your recommendation? Is there any tactical advantage to equipping our infantry force with this type of weapon?
Absolutely, and I'll tell you why. When you invade that dropship, there's going to be elementals.
That's what I'm thinking.
I have to tell you that if you fire a rifle in full burst at an elemental, you will not scratch the paint.
Okay. So that's what I'm asking of you is what can you do everything you can to equip these this mixed militia force with whatever equipment we can muster?
It's going to require setting aside the elemental project.
The elemental project can wait a couple of days.
Sir, I didn't realize you were there.
He's been standing behind him this whole time.
Just kind of.
I was really hoping to get the elemental project working as soon as possible so that we could begin training, but
indeed,
we could get maybe a dozen of these working before the 29th when the operation launches. It would require between 2 and 4 people to carry each one with both hands, and then they'd have to fire it like a battering ram at whatever target.
Here's another question to follow up on that. We have like yourself, you are experienced not just in technical capacity. Are there any other
Trueborns? You're asking if there's other Trueborns.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right.
If you'll recall, I believe one elemental Trueborn painted your cabin.
Oh, yes. It was very well done. With that, how many of these elemental suits do you think could be repaired in the same period of time?
0.
Damn. Well, then let's see what we can do to arm up the infantry as best we can with the SRMs, and we can make sure to retrieve them later for integration back into the suits, because I do love your idea and I absolutely want to do that.
Jerome, do you believe, is there a scenario during this conflict that causes the crew and personnel of the broadsword to lay down arms?
No. You're going to need to hit the bridge and the engineering bay at the same time to prevent a self-destruct or a computer wipe. And you're going to have to hit it hard and very quickly. You'll have less than a minute.
We're also going to have to make sure all the infantry are equipped with as many breaching explosives as we can manage.
No. He like pats the SRM and he's like, that's what these are for. Your breaching explosives, your inner sphere, you'll require dozens of them to get through the interior of our dropships.
What would you, so based on your knowledge of the projected enemy force on the broadsword itself, What would you estimate an effective number
is going to be a trained warrior, but they will be aerospace pilot warriors. So
number of elementals?
5 at the most.
Okay, what do you put the odds at a 400 person strong militia?
If you can get all 400 of them on board, I'd be shocked.
Why is that? Is it going to close up quicker than that?
No, I mean, you physically can't fit 400 people on Sword of Broadsword.
I'm just
I
saying.
would say if we use these SRMs, if you send the best people first with the best equipment, there is a chance that this could be done.
Well, then let's
with a considerable casualty count, I assume.
There will probably be about 11 people on board. Broadsword has about 6 crew members.
No, I'm talking about a significant casualty count on our side.
Well, you're almost certainly going to have infantry running over an open space between wherever you're hiding them, assumably very well, and the ship. You'll need to get the Raven on board on the ramp and hold it there, and then you're going to have to fight whatever forces have left the ship with your forces while the ship is firing at them.
So it's going to be a meat grinder.
Yes, the battle on board the ship will happen very quickly. As I mentioned, there are 6 crew members, 5 elemental security officers, and maybe a tech or 2. The maximum loadout will be either 5 mechs or far more likely 4 mechs and 1 elemental point. In the field, that's not that bad, but the dropship has significant weaponry.
Is there a way to disable the ship without storming it?
Not and keep it intact? I mean, if you somehow were able to destroy even... If you could take out the bridge somehow while leaving the engineering section intact and then invading... No. People don't take dropships very often in clans. We mostly win them in trials of possession.
So the crew... We can expect the crew to make every attempt to scuttle the ship.
How likely do you
upon
think
boarding?
they would be willing to engage in a trial of possession?
Well, given that they consider us Desgra, 0. They will not engage in a trial of possessions.
That would be too easy.
I think it's doable. Maybe 50-50.
Well, let's see what we can do to increase those odds.
Well, let's start stripping these SRM launchers, boys. And he like waves his hand around, and everybody starts disassembling the battle suits, and people are hosing off the launchers. You could see he's going around to some of the factory workers and helping them retool it to fit inner sphere SRMs. And you can hear him complaining loudly. He's just like, and if you don't do that and the fuse rolls out, we will die. You'll fire this, and the person who fires it will die. You don't want those men to die, do you?
I was hoping we could just get one of those suits good so that Black Rabbit's little painter buddy could get in there and lead the charge.
Right?
Have his moment of glory.
Could we see if we can get one of them at least operational?
You cannot. It's not possible.
I asked.
That'd be hilarious.
So the suits are mostly incredibly damaged, right? And they can be rebuilt with hard gel, but they're going to need to pool the supply of hard gel. And even then, that's just a temporary measure. They're going to have to re-armor them manually. I mean, you've killed like 50-something elementals, so...
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It'll take some time, but...
Yeah.
Can I ask, out of those 400 volunteers, how many of those
50
volunteers?
are expert-rated special forces.
Okay,
Perfect.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
350 are not.
Okay.
Okay, so is the next scene everybody back at Castle Crow as the submarine departs with your Wolfhound and your Mongoose? So we watch, I guess we followed the submarine for a moment, and Howler's just like, all right, everyone, I'm in charge. It's Lieutenant Crossroads here. Let's pull ourselves together, because we're the dog pack now, all right? We're going to the factory. those people need a little bit of defense because they've been playing it for 2 weeks. And like he's giving an inspirational speech. It's just the mongoose pilot who's there to listen to it.
A bunch of empty chairs and one dude sitting there.
It's like the dude. Woo.
I feel like the motivational speech is for himself mainly.
They get to the factory and that bitch is abandoned because everyone has taken the fat militia contract to come with us.
They have tens of thousands of
I
employees.
know.
Yeah.
It's like a New York sized facility, isn't it? Like it's huge.
Yeah, it's big. The first thing that happens when you get back, as your mechs and your vehicle convoy come through the front gates, Black Rabbit, is that you can see your elemental friend waving up at you. And he's got this massive watercolor portrait of you that he's holding over his head.
So just wave and give him a big thumbs up.
Do you do it with your mech? Oh, that's right. Your mech doesn't have hands, right? It's just got gun barrels.
It doesn't have hands. It's just, wave a gun barrel, in support.
He turns to the guy next
like
to him.
Warhammer 40K, it just makes the chopping motion.
He turns to the guy next to him and is like, I don't know what that means. Our mechs have more articulation than your inner sphere creations. So as you guys, pull yourselves out of your mechs, it's like a huge reunion. Obviously, your tech teams need to get to work, finishing all of the repairs together, and Jerome is busy between swapping the Cauldronborn over to the B profile and turning all the SRM launchers into LRM-capable man-pack SRM launchers.
Someone is knocking at my door.
Very well. Tapping at his chamber door.
I want to get with Black Rabbit and have her come with me to talk to Bubba to get the militia all spun up for their. Yeah, you have to come with me.
Why do I have to come with you?
Because we're going to talk to your boyfriend.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Well, we're going to talk to the guy who thinks they're your boyfriend.
That's fair.
Thank you. The goal here is to get him and all of his boys excited about sticking it to the clans one last time as we try and take their dropship. So we're going to need him to gather up all his best dudes and all their best stuff to participate in this shit show that we're about to go do.
All right. You head to the barracks, which is where you're informed Bubba is. Bubba is talking to a young clan technician, a young woman.
Bubba's
and he's
got a
just
side
like,
chick?
That is so interesting, darling. That is so interesting. I didn't know that about you people. That explains last night so much better. I was slightly confused. Oh, hey, it's you two. How's it going, y'all?
Good, Bubba. You look like you're making friends.
Yeah, no. Come over here. This is Theta. She's one of them trueborns. Say, did you know that when they're growing up together, they're pooled up with all of their sibco? It's like they're siblings, right? They're all genetic clones of each other. And then they just let these hormonal teenagers all have sex with each other. The clans are 100% into incest. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that so interesting?
I take a look at this trueborn girl, and I just going to stare at her for a minute. What is she doing?
She's just smiling. She's like, yeah, no, that's the way of the clans. It's totally normal for us. Why do you not do that?
Well, I turned around and.
Isn't it totally natural for you to turn to the people who you love most in your most confusing times? In search of companionship and love?
This is a very fascinating cultural exchange. However,
I can't keep it straight.
However, I need to have a conversation with Bubba here. So if you'll please excuse us.
Oh, of course. Should I go or should you? Oh, my name's Theta.
Theta. No, I'm sure you have somewhere you can be doing something. If you'll excuse yourself, I'll appreciate it. We'll stay here.
You'll excuse herself. She's just super chipper about it. She's like, yeah, sure, of course. No.
Thanks.
She like gets up with her tray and leaves, and Bubba's just like, I did not realize what I got myself into with that girl.
Yeah, Bubba, you got any brothers or anything? Anybody you're excited about bonding with on a clan level?
No, you know, last night we were together, you know what
Were
I'm talking
ya?
about? And
I
she was
do
just
now.
going on about how she was sterile because when you fail out of Trueborn school, apparently they make you, you know, and all Trueborn are sterile so that they can't act. She started talking about her other experiences, and at first I was like, well, this is unusual, you know, it's not really what I do before. And then she started mentioning that, you know, she grew up with them, and I was like, childhood okay, you look like you're having trouble here. I thought childhood, I didn't realize it was her brothers, okay?
Listen,
It's just,
listen.
so, yeah.
You brought that upon yourself.
I
okay?
know, it's
Let's
a
move
cultural
on.
exchange, we're
Let's
learning
move
things
past
about each other.
Don't take my phrase. You can't have it. It's not yours.
No, I like it. It's a good phrase. It's got a good mouthfeel to it.
Listen, how would you like to do something that is a little more your speed and something that you're good at?
Driving a truck.
I was thinking you could
Herding cows.
kick some ass and take some names. How does that sound to you? With what's your shotgun's name again? Bertha?
It's just
Betsy?
like, oh, I left that
Bermuda?
thing behind a little while ago. And he like pulls out a mini Gauss rifle and he's like,
What's this one's
my
name?
good buddy Rapier hooked me up with one of these.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, a mini Gauss?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
the fuck?
It's a man portable Gauss rifle. The clanners use them sometimes. They're pretty
How
cool.
many clanners have you been able to shoot with that thing so far?
Well, do we count tin cans at the firing range?
We don't,
Then
but
0.
let's increase that number. How
Wait,
does
how many
that sound to you?
cans have you shot?
Well, you know, it's actually really slow to fire. It takes like 2 seconds of holding the trigger down. So, I mean, like only maybe like 50. But I gotta tell you,
That
the
was one shot,
cans
though.
are annihilated. Also, it's really heavy. Like, I know I made it look like it was easy to pull out from down here, but it's like 50 kilograms. It's incredibly heavy. It normally takes 2 people to move, but, you know, I'm like 2 men.
Listen,
Yep.
we have an upcoming operation that we'd like you to participate in.
Uh-huh.
We would like you to go get all of your best boys.
Yeah,
and
no
all of-
problem. I
and
mean,
all
you
of
don't
their
even need to
best
ask.
toys.
We're there.
and we're going to be storming a clan dropship.
Okay, that's unusual, but sure.
Resistance is going to be heavy and casualties are going to be high, but so
Let me
we'll
sell you on this one, right? Let me sell you on this.
Yep.
What if you put me facing the open dropship door and I snipe with my new Gauss rifle?
That sounds great. I love it. I
Excellent.
love everything you just said.
Yep, I like being alive more than I like being dead.
I'm sure Black Rabbit is excited that you're alive as well.
Well, I'm excited she's alive. You know, I haven't been seeing a lot of either of you lately.
Well, you've been occupying your time other ways, apparently.
Well, I mean, you guys are going to different continents. You're meeting new people.
And why should you let that slow you down, right? Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm what you might call a free spirit, you know.
Sure. That's what we love about you, Bubba.
What is that true? I mean, look, are you doing anything tonight?
Yes.
Okay. What about you there, Black Rabbit? You doing anything tonight? I feel like we've just never
Her
taken
and I
the
are
next step
doing
forward
stuff.
in our relationship.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with Ronan.
Yep.
Oh,
Wait, I'm
okay.
sorry.
All right. Well,
We gotta plan this operation. It's very technical stuff. I'm sure you understand.
well, if you need anything, I'll be getting drunk.
Also, I kind of got shot, so I should probably go to the doctor.
Aren't you a doctor?
I don't know if I can doctor myself.
You can doctor yourself. It's in the rule book. He pulls out a copy of A Time of Horror for you. It is slightly harder to heal yourself, though.
You know, we just got back. We did great. It looks like we're gonna win this thing. So go get with your dudes and celebrate. Have a great time. Get them all fired up about sticking it to the bad guys one more time before we're done with this whole thing.
All right.
We're gonna go plan the shit out of this thing, and we're having a great place for you to stand and just go to town with your new toy. I'm gonna plan to put him in like optimum LRM range for the expert.
That's horrible.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's done. I feel like I've done all the negotiating.
Captain Harridan, what are you doing during this conversation?
I imagine I walk into the room carrying like a bottle of whiskey and like 3 glasses or 4 glasses, see Bubba there, kind of stop, and then back out, and then leave, and then you see like
Bubba is actually going past you because it's it's like the barracks cafeteria, and he looks a little hurt. He's like, "Sir, do you need to get? I didn't think I was that wide. Do you need to get past me?" He like steps sideways. He's like, "My bad. I didn't mean to get in your way." I feel
very yes. No, like that, yep.
I just want to stop you for a second. I feel like maybe your people don't respect me enough as they could. My family had, a lot of people die in aircraft in horrible ways to help bring you information. We've been with you since the beginning. We didn't have to be. We gave you a lot of beef. You're using our gigantic trucks.
As he's talking,
trucks.
I'm like unwrapping the top of the bottle. I'm just looking at him, and I pull it out, and I was like, without saying anything, I just hand him a glass.
Okay.
And then I pour a drink into it and said, I want you to know one thing. If it weren't for you, we would probably all be dead. Trust me, no one has forgotten that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. He tosses the glass back. He's like, what is it gonna take to find a nice woman around here who wants to get with me, who isn't fucking her own brother? Then he hands the glass back to you and walks away.
Oh my god!
I have no idea.
If Butch McGurk ever returns to the show, him and Bubba are going to be best fucking friends. I can almost 100% guarantee it.
Yeah, you arrive in the cafeteria with 1 used glass, 1 unused glass, and a bottle.
I just set the used glass down on a table as I walk by it, and I walk up to everybody else. I just lay out the glasses, and then just pour drinks and plop the bottle down, sit down.
Ronan drinks out of the bottle.
And I just sit there.
Bandito, where are you during all this? Freshly arrived back at the base.
I think Bandito is immediately going back to work, trying to get logistics of everything.
Okay.
Trying to find
doing executive officer stuff.
That, and then trying to find ideal places for us to make an ambush.
He's going to go start figuring out that cauldron born.
So, while that is all happening, you get executive stuff done. I'd like you to make a roll.
Yeah.
Why? Just make a leadership roll.
I have a feeling like I just
better.
ordered. I feeling like I just ordered him to take care of all the administrative stuff,
And they went to go drink.
Just pouring out.
That's what
drinks.
executive officers are for, man. You're doing team building operations with your whatever rank Ronan gave herself. Civilian, military, liaison, mercenary. I didn't
Meanwhile,
follow.
Ronan, what rank are you, by the way?
What sounds good?
I meant to do the 2 big dice.
Okay. Well, you got a 5.
I don't know. Something
5 plus 4 is 9.
something
You're
high.
barely capable of getting the job done. You're exhausted. Some stuff is falling through the cracks, unfortunately, and that's when you get your first
Put a point of edge into it to make it a 10.
Okay, all right. Nothing falls through the cracks.
Okay.
And that's when you get a Comstar message. It's actually dozens of them. Every Comstar message from the last 2 weeks that you've missed. But at the very top is a message from Mercenary Liaison Command Solaris 7.
So all right, I'll answer.
It's addressed to the unit, not to you specifically.
Oh, okay.
You catch it before, you're drinking.
You open it and immediately Sunday.
I think it's like Bandy was like getting ready to open it, and was like, then
$5 for your whole
but you'll only need turns the volume down real low. I was like, okay, then play.
Sorry, I need to go look some stuff up from messages I sent Rad, but I'm gonna be ready.
Getting prepared for the Sunday.
So it is it's the Comstar logo fades out, and then we get like a very ripped back muscles look, and then it spins around and we get a 4 look of what's very clearly Butch McGurk wearing the El Guapo mask. There's like flames all around him, and it says
gray Santa Claus beard.
ranked 23 in the medium mech Lyran division. El Guapo is a rising star, representing Crow's Black Mercenary unit from the edge of the periphery. He's well known for his high-flying antics and his high-energy, low mech use. Every week, trashing yet another mech, El Guapo is what represents the finest of mech wrestling. Then it's an interview with El Guapo, but it's entirely in Spanish.
I actually understand Spanish.
Okay, yeah, he's just like, yes, of course. I wish to show everyone that El Guapo is as good as his grandfather was, and that I will continue to crush mechs across my knee, like so, with my hatchet. Wah!
I imagine just like no accent, just flat English. Yes.
Have you ever watched King of the Hill? If you've ever watched King of the Hill, you know that Peggy Carter, one of the characters, she's a substitute Spanish teacher. He speaks Spanish just like she does. So if you've never seen it, YouTube or Netflix King of the Hill, and find an episode where Peggy Hill speaks Spanish. Or like, what's another example? The robot from Red versus Blue that speaks Spanish.
Lo siento, por favor.
No que hora es?
That's when at the end of it, the screen goes black again and starts playing what's obviously a movie trailer. And the voiceover begins. He began as a small-time mercenary officer. And then we see El Guapo like out in a field, just like hoeing
but wearing a mask.
In the background, there are 4 mechs approaching, and one of them has stars and stripes on it. And then we hear like screams and flame noises. A rivalry born across the generation. 20 years in the making. And then we cut to what's obviously someone pretending to be like it's the Matthew McConaughey of Kenneth Cross impersonators. Kenneth Cross, a memorial story. From his early years committing crimes in the name of the the Free Worlds League, to rising through the mercenary ranks, finally becoming a CEO. Watch his story as he travels the inner sphere, teaching children how to protect themselves, teaching inner sphere how to rise above the warfare, and teaching himself how to love again. Starring El Guapo, professional wrestler and mech wrangler, in his first appearance as Kenneth Cross's longest time nemesis, Vincent Gray.
Oh, that's excellent.
Vincent Gray.
Yeah, and the image of him hoeing a field, he's totally wearing like overalls, but they're like the cut-off shorts, like jort overalls.
Oh, God.
So the final scene of the trailer is El Guapo crying through the mask and saying, "He killed my entire family, and now I will kill him."
Kill my family.
And then it's like, winter, 3052. Kenneth Cross, a memorial story based on the real-life events of Kenneth Cross.
Can't help to feel like McGurk
Not affiliated with.
make fun of me.
Yeah. Somebody approached him with that deal to play in that movie, and they're like, "We want you to be Vincent Gray." He's like, "Where do I sign?"
Just from my canon, I believe that
I don't care.
I believe that Butch McGurk supplied the Vincent Gray character. Like he was addressed.
Like a consultant.
Yeah, no, he was addressed to like be the rival as an up and coming. He's like the Batista of.
yeah.
This is his Guardians of the Galaxy, and he was like, "Actually, I know the guy that the story is based off of.
Yeah.
Why don't I play him?"
Let me give you a super accurate version of him.
And by that, I mean a completely inaccurate version.
Yeah.
I
Coming
can't help
soon.
but feel like I'll be incredibly offended while watching that movie. But
Well-
if Killer Cross does die in it, I will gladly watch it.
As part of this news blast, there's a upgrade of the mercenary unit in terms of funds. So with all of the winning that El Guapo's been doing, your bank account has been getting more money.
Steadily.
But more importantly, this signing deal, the Crows Black gets 1% of the funds. So
Of the movie royalties?
yeah, the movie royalties.
Nice.
I feel like around that time, he hears laughing in the background coming from the cafeteria, and then someone just cheering El Guapo.
So, I think it would be fair to say if you're doing your job, you're probably in Operations Command, Bandito.
Yes.
Okay.
All
So,
work all the time.
over here, if you guys are on the tabletop, I've provided a base layout of what the general area looks like. Mech Bay 1 is for your lance, 2 is for Howlers, 3 is for the reserve lance, and the vehicle bay is where you keep the artillery unit. You guys are all on the far side of the barracks. There's a skyway that connects all these buildings, and then there's tunnels that run under the dropship for dropship resupply, and they head to the operations center. So, it's about this time that all of you hear an alarm klaxon go off across the base, and gunfire and missile fire. And for you, because you're the only one near a computer, you look outside the conning tower of the operations command, and you can see that there are 10 clan elementals and an assortment of clan personnel making their way past the gate and opening fire on the gate control, on the operations center. Rockets are flying everywhere. Elementals are firing laser blasts and machine gun fire everywhere. One elemental that looks like he's at least a foot taller than the rest has a technician like in his battlesuit claw and just rips his neck off. No problem. And that's where we're going to end the episode.
Okay.
Dang.
Great.
I would like you all to figure out what weapons you keep on your character at any time and brush up on the time of war rules, because next episode is going to be a ground combat through your base.
We have no weapons that are good against that.
Nope.
Well, there is one good weapon at the very least. I mean, maybe you can get to your mechs.
They get past the laser turret defense?
Yeah. They're in the gate inside the base right
How
now.
the fuck did they bypass the seismic sensors?
So weird how that happened.
We got a mole.
No, they use aircraft. They use the helicopters that they've used several times
And
now.
we didn't catch them on radar?
No, they flew below the deck. You guys literally have a castle on the side of a mountain facing water. They just flew at the water level and then popped up and dropped them off. Don't worry about it. You'll learn more next episode. Everybody gets 25 experience points. If you have a lot of experience points and you haven't put them into either small arms operations or upping your body, I suggest you do that right now.
I'm going to buy another point of edge with that 25 XP.
Oh shit, James said they use ring and ground effect vehicles. Son of a bitch.
All right, so I have... Why does my edge keep resetting?
I don't know.
So is it like, do we have like enough time to get, us patched up, maybe?
No, not even close.
Okay.
A small
Great.
is
You guys aren't that
fine.
hurt though, right? You guys only have like 1 or 2 points.
Well, that 1 or 2 points might be important.
Well,
let's
yeah,
face
one
it, it's
one
SRM,
burst of
it's
elemental
already
machine gun will probably kill you. So
Well,
Or,
I
you
don't
know,
plan on
it's-
running out and fighting the elementals. You said there was personnel running around too.
yeah, so I mean, it's hard to tell based on it's nighttime. There's people running around. Who's on what side? But there are at least 10 guys with guns out there firing randomly and indiscriminately. And it should be noted that elementals have crew-served machine guns that can fire 20 bursts at the same time, if my notes here are correct.
Cool.
Yeah,
That'll be fun.
It's a lot of bullets. So, yeah, let's figure out what weapons you guys generally have available.
I mean, I have a assault rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Well, one of those things is better than the rest.
I mean, one of those things, none of those things are able to go through the armor. So
well, the good news is that if you can make your way to the vehicle bay, that is where the SRM's launchers are being stored.
That uses an entirely different skill.
Yes, it does. Friends, let's do some outros. Cotton.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going okay.
You want to do some outros?
Sorry, I'm Cottontailed. I doodle and stuff. You can find me on Twitter and AP's Discord. That's all I got.
Okay. Brad?
Hello, I'm Raddosaurus. You can find me here on this show. And next week, you can find me on another show on Tuesday playing with Arthur's On the Tabletop group. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I had a good time tonight. It was a fun episode. I had to talk a lot. So I guess that's what happens when you're the negotiator and you play in a negotiation heavy episode. I don't get to be very silly very often with Ronan. And I miss being silly sometimes. She's a very serious character 99% of the time.
We don't need it anymore.
So, I mean, we're about to be in a fight, so she'll just run at an elemental screaming or something like that. It'll be fine. No, it was cool to hear from El Guapo tonight. That's exciting. It's always very interesting hearing Arthur's vision for the character versus.
I know we have very different visions.
It's fine. I mean, I'll roll with whatever you want to go with, but we do have very different visions. But it is funny. I do think that it's pretty hilarious. Yeah, I'm excited to be back next week. I always like these out of combat missions. They're extremely lethal and stressful, but also very fun. So this will be the first ground combat that I've been in without my ground combat specialist. So I look forward to running at people with my knife and trying to kill them while they gun me down.
Well, the good news is that after this ground combat, Gleemo can join us on August 1st for the dropship mission.
Cool.
Which
Yeah,
means we'll have another mech to throw at the enemy.
That's awesome. I think what's going to come down to is our mechs, how much dropship fire can they soak? Because it sounds like we're going to have the enemy lance outgunned. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you literally have twice as many mechs with twice as much equipment.
Yeah, so it's really going to be, I don't know.
And artillery and aero force.
We got to come up with a clever way of getting those mechs farther away from the dropship before springing our trap. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm going to be thinking about it.
Well, let's make sure you survive the next battle on foot.
Yeah. Maybe a giant scarecrow.
Yes.
Can you explain to me what the mech version of a scarecrow is?
No.
It's basically what the Wolverine looked like at the end of the last fight.
just basically a post with a fusion engine and a cockpit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Been inundated by pet nonsense this whole night. I don't know if you've been seeing me deal with my animals. You could hear this one right now being obnoxious.
Sid, what do you got?
Well, I got Maxwell Harridan just got a lot better at small arms and
Awesome.
Yeah, I got a video that I'll be working on as soon as we're finished up here that hopefully I'll be able to get out tonight. And we're going to be back on Saturday for some Warhammer 40K for some more service to the Emperor. And that'll be amazing. And yeah, so
that show's been a little controversial.
Has it?
What?
Listen, man, the pronunciation of words has people losing it. Is it arbiter, arbiters?
It's in a whole language that I don't understand.
Arbitas,
I miss all that stuff.
Arbiteos.
Robot Guliman? Like, is it Robot Girly Man? What is even happening here?
Let's see. What's the commander on the motorcycle?
I don't know.
Something fucker.
Commander
What?
Smashville.
Captain Smashfucker? That's not his name. That's the title that people have given that oh my god.
That's like the best thing I heard all week. It really was.
Captain Smashfucker, huh? Okay.
No, it's great. I love it. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to getting them videos done for you guys. So don't forget to check me out on YouTube, and also don't forget to follow and share Arthur's streams because he works hard and he does really great, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Well, some of that's true. Some of it's less true. All right. I just realized that I'm going to have to resave my whole save file for Tabletop Simulator saves locally rather than to the cloud. This is so painful. Oh, I'm glad I caught that, or I would be so fucked right now. I would be incredibly fucked. Pondo, talk about you, buddy.
Hi, I'm Pondothemad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch/Pondothemad, where I play video games and whatnot. And I don't have anything planned in any sort of intermediate future. Maybe far off. But...
Okay.
I'm really intrigued how this elemental fight's gonna go because I mean I'm immediately gonna try to get into the Devastator.
If you don't think the first thing they're gonna do is secure those mechs, you're crazy. So here's the deal. Elementals have like 8 armor and everything, so you need to have an armor piercing of at least 8 to injure them in most cases, and then any damage you do is then divided by 8, which is why you need anti-vehicle weapons to even hurt them in the first place.
Yeah, that's
yep.
And anti-vehicle weapons fire type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like some sort of miniature Gauss rifle or SRM launcher.
Yeah, if only Bubba were around, then we'd be okay.
Man, it's gonna be so funny if Bubba's the first person to die. He like walks out, he's just like, Claters! Gets like one shot off. Then he's bisected by a dozen small lasers.
I'd like to see that map again as the place.
Excellent. You'll see it next Thursday.
Could you just not open it up real quick?
No, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Okay. Because I believe
I don't see the cafeteria in that map either.
It's on barracks.
Yeah,
in the upper right hand corner.
You guys are on the opposite side of me, so
great. So Arthur literally split the party.
I asked you guys where you were. Pondo said, "I'm going to work while everybody else goes to drink."
So sorry for being responsible.
Yeah, sorry for running the unit. There you go. It's in our Discord channel.
Yeah, because literally, like, the closest thing to me is the mech bay.
Yeah, I want to blow up that Devastator again. Even worse, the elementals are going to get up there and just rip the cockpit out. That's the only thing they're going to do to it.
Son of a bitch.
So I can maybe outrun the elementals there and get in there, which is just a wrong chance.
Where on this map are they're like the gate controls and stuff right now, right?
Yep. They just came through the gate.
Okay.
Who's in Mech Bay 3? That's our artillery?
No, your artillery is in Vehicle Bay.
The medium, what would be the medium lance?
Yes.
So the swayback is probably in Mech Bay 3.
Yeah.
But the issue is
the swayback.
Well, I don't know if anybody of us is brain triggered into this swayback is the issue.
I remember Black Rabbit being at the conversation with Ronan in the barracks. Her painting her mech was back in the factory, guys.
Correct. What else? The Goshawk is probably in there too.
And Harridan was in the barracks or the cafeteria, wherever they were, pouring out drinks and basically making everyone drink them.
So, next week's going to be a fun time. I'm Arthur Perkins.
Yeah.
This has been APGamingREAL. Did you know that next Thursday is one day before Friday, which is July 26th, the 6-year anniversary of the show starting?
What?
Yeah. APGamingREAL, 6 years.
Oh, I thought you said of
really?
this show.
Wait, we've been playing
Like, we have
Battletech
No,
for
man,
6 years?
APGamingREAL. Come on now, y'all.
How old am I?
Come on now. Well, I'll tell you what. Today is July 19th, which means I am 33 today.
No.
Yeah, my birthday is
What?
July 19th. I started my show 1 week after my birthday.
Oh, it's past
Happy
midnight where you're at.
Yes, it
Happy
is past
birthday.
birthday here. Thank you. Thank you.
33.
See, if you don't tell people about it, they can't plan horrific EV-based surprises.
Yeah, but now it's going in my Outlook calendar. So
Well, great. Next year.
and I'm gonna set a warning for an alert for myself 1 month prior and 1 week prior.
I feel like you're putting way too much effort into this. My plan for my birthday is to spend all day driving to the middle of Maryland and back, and then ripping a computer open and hoping I don't spend the evening weeping in sorrow. So that's my plan tomorrow.
Nice.
Guys, if you enjoy this show, did you also know I have a Warhammer show with 2 of the people that are on this show? And they like killing heretics with this. They literally just beat people to death with this symbol. They don't even use guns. They just literally pull out rosettes and beat people with them.
And we also tell Arbites that someone bribed us.
Don't even. Look, man, I have to recover from fucking Saturday. Holy shit. Oh, it was so bad. I got rocked really, really badly. I got rocked really bad. All right, that's it. That's it for us tonight. Let me find someone to host. Have a good night, y'all. Have a good night.